topics, whether conscious or cosmic. It's never nonsense, mega levels or microscopic. It's a Killah Priest project, AD control the rocket. Before we land the plane, many things we engage and explain. The unexplained, without mask. Welcome to the Killah Priest podcast. Killah Priest podcast.
Oh yeah, look great. I like that.
My boss. Mitch Horowitz. Practical magic, ancient traditions, modern practice. It's gonna be a great, crazy show today, man. Practical magic, Manly P. Hall. Man, we're gonna get into some good stuff today, man. Shout out to everybody out in the Podcraft world. What's good? I'm your host, Killah Priest, the Iron Sheik. Look who's back. Look who's back. Solo Gems, what up?
What's good? How y'all doing? Chilling? Great. I'm great. I got seasonal allergies right now, but we all right. We rocking.
Word. Shout out to Miyoshi too. I spoke to Miyoshi. Word. Shout out to Miyoshi. Word. AD, what's up?
Yeah.
AD Dizzle.
Peace.
Mitch Horowitz. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be dope. So what's going on, everybody out there, man? I hope y'all had a great weekend as we close down. This is like Thursday weekend. And you know how we started on the Podcraft, man. We go in, and I wish that everybody had a great week ahead of them, coming up and before. A lot of things to cover. Wild stuff. Y'all know what's going on outside. Oh, y'all can see it. I can't even hide from it. Where's the monitor, AD? Can't see nothing.
Oh, yeah, man.
Peace to everybody that coming in, man. Shout out to everybody in there. Peace to you, Brian Douglas, Chosen Lore, Indigenous, Insidious Menace. Brian Insidious Menace, he says, peace to KP Solo G. AD, what's up? Word up. Yeah, man, just come on in, man. Tell them, hit that like button. Tell them we over here. We about to get into some esoteric mental stuff with my man, Mitch. He's coming back to the show today. It's going to be crazy. And I know y'all got a lot of questions about Manly P. Hall. What's the other chick? Everything during those ages where they was dealing with the craft and they was dealing with a lot of stuff, Praxis, a lot of magic. It's really deep, man. We're going to go deep into it. My man Jordan Maxwell, R.I.P., he was a spawn from that type of era. And it was Anthony J. Hilder. They bought us the Illuminati. They put it on Front Street. And then we also have my man today, AD, who I'm a part of the family. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah, exactly. Santos, Bonacci, and you have Mitch Horowitz, who's been running through it. And shout out to my man, John Newsom. Shout out to Knowledge Born. They did the show yesterday. Man, I couldn't make it. Probably, you know, I'm in the studio doing stuff, and they held it down, man. Shout out to Guam, Jordan. You said you was watching, right, AD?
Yeah, I checked it out a little bit.
How was it?
Oh, they were coming down some.
Yeah. Got to be able to talk to the people, man. Shout out to Royal Priesthood. Man, I'm excited. Summertime, midsummer, something going to be dropping soon. You don't ever know, but just don't hold your breath, or hold your breath. About to be exciting soon. About to be real excited. What's up with you, Solo Gems? What's good?
Oh, I'm maintaining. I'm living and maintaining, living life. Trying to enjoy it, doing it right. So can't complain. Yeah, nothing really else to really share. You know, I mean, this allergy's kind of killing me, so I'm kind of like a little dealing with that, but I'm all right though. You know, we rocking, we cooling.
Yeah. That's important too, man. It's summertime, so a lot of y'all got allergies and stuff. Me, myself too. We love the forest, but you got to know allergies be off the hook. Great time to go hiking and, you know, go fishing, go see the world, get outside, and also it's good for exercise too. getting outside, doing a little hike and things like that. Get up off your behind and get out there, man. Put in like what? I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It don't take that much. But you will be surprised at what sunshine does for your mind. You know, it just despite it just the vitamin D that is given to you, because someone told me that you have to be in the sun a certain amount of time for the vitamin D start kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the precise number of that, but get outside. Shout out to my man Rap Yard. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? So summertime, we approaching Leo. Shout out to all the cancers out there. You know, Ben Frank said peace to the gods and the earths. Peace to you, my brother. Peace to Rose Cartel, no doubt. That's Insidious Menace, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Daddy Rose, Salahuddin, everybody, everybody, man. Kenyatta Black, he's doing it right now. And everybody who's, you know, motivated to keep going. And that's what it is. In these times, it's a good time to motivate, keep going, push yourself to the best way you could. Rap Yard said everybody loves the sunshine. Roy Ayers, yep. R.I.P. to great Roy Ayers. We just lost. We lost. Quincy Jones, right? I think they did something together. My woman, all love, no doubt. Yeah, man. Take a stroll through the park, hold hands. You know what I mean? Like lovers can. Become your own clan. It's woman and man, and y'all just understand. Y'all get to understand it, which is the best part of everything. Peace to all in the craft. And I might be having a special guest coming through too, man. Well, along with Mitch Horowitz, man. Shout out to my man Hakeim. He might be coming through. A lot of intelligent minds that's going to be rolling through. Shout out to everybody who came through the craft before, who's been participated and been up here in the right mind. That's very important. And the right state of mind, and you know, may all the blessings always shine through you, and may you continue to keep going. If you have positive thoughts, this is what I learned, Solo Jim. Positive thoughts. I could have said positive. Positive activates, always correct. You know what I'm saying? I could have said, but positive thoughts, just having a positive about yourself and being in the right state of mind. And even if you're not, because things shake a little bit, but if you could just find that little piece. Lauryn Hill made a song says she got to find peace of mind. I feel that if you get just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, that's enough to carry you through.
Yeah, positive thoughts. Yeah, you gotta, I kind of always say this, try to like stress less, you know, like, you know, there's no need to like, because a lot of problems and a lot of things that we have as an issue in ourselves, really not that big of a deal, you know what I mean? We got to keep feeding ourselves words of affirmation, right? So, you know, and that's a part of loving yourself, you know? Know that everything's all good, everything's going to be all right, you know what I mean? There's no need to stress over your rent and bills all the single time, you know? It's like, that's wasted energy. You know, feed yourself more positive energy. Hey, buy that shirt you like, you know? Buy that, you know, get that food you want to eat. You know, there's times when you gotta like really feed yourself something positive, and it's all right, you know. As long as you're not spoiling yourself, you're good. But you know, just feed yourself something positive. That's how I look at it. You know, if you're thinking about getting into the gym, if you're thinking about taking that girl out on a date, you know, do what you want to do. Have fun. You know, don't stress about life. You know, you're not here forever. You know what I mean? We're here for the time we're here for. So why stress over it? You know. Enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Feed love and light.
Right. Exactly. I was watching the show Pop the Balloon again. And I was just seeing how certain other relationships together. And it's going to go into Mitch Horowitz too, because it's like you damn near need magic now. You need some type of glow to you, you know what I'm saying? And in relationships now, they can't even get together because you know, everything's off balance. Nobody know what they want. I don't even know if cats got soul anymore or rhythm, because I'll be looking at stuff online. It's just not the same. Is it me or am I tripping? Because I would love to be tripping. If I'm tripping, I'm tripping.
Nah, you're not wrong. It's definitely. I mean, we talking about the dating culture. I think people have unrealistic standards. I think the standards are way out of pocket, and it's not built off a genuine connection. It's not about of like, connection, actual genuine connection. It's about what's the best you could do for me, and I think that leads to disappointment a lot of times. From what I see from the Pop the Balloon and all that type of stuff. I know there's like a lot of different love shows and all that. But like, yeah, it's just, a lot of times I just think people who have unrealistic standards,
Right.
Mm-hmm. And no, and it affects the youth, what I mean? Not people not having families, that breaks down to a whole lot of things in society. The whole, like you say, the whole hookup culture and how that's affecting everything and building genuine relationships and all that type of stuff. So it's wild. It's wild out here.
Yeah. And it's not just you can see it. Mm-hmm. I know everybody see it, but we in a society now that forces us to ignore that, become more selfish into ourselves. I mean, self-preservation is good, but the way that they push it is real toxic.
Right.
It's got to be some type of side effect to it. If you think about it, if you lean too much to the left, say something's going to happen with your right.
Mm-hmm.
Balance is the key. Being right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Being balanced and knowing how to balance everything. That's teaching us, I think, to be greater humans on the planet and take care of the planet. The ones who want to.
Right.
But there's a side that doesn't want to. We got nicknames for them today.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know that the mental disorders, and it may not be that person's fault, but it's things that they went to, like Solo Jim was saying, things that you go through when you're younger. And then sometimes you never address those problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so they grow and they grow and they grow and they grow. And then you kind of take on to that, like, damn, I feel depressed. You know what I'm saying? And I take it out on this person.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the doctor, they prescribe to you pills. Pills that just suppress, never really truly getting a healing. And then you look towards, like, where do we go from here? Because you got, some people resort to magic. It's deep. It's getting to that level. Like, damn, do I gotta step into some type of like self-healing?
Mm-hmm.
And that's disguised as magic. Like we got different names for it back then. They just probably call it magic.
Right.
Or when you're trying to heal yourself, deep wounds that kind of like grew over time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we dealing with narcissistic behavior every day, and people who are out to destroy you because of what you do when you're trying to represent something positive. Now the airwaves and let's blow the whistle a little bit, like all through the media. So it's plagued with so many individuals that hide their real identity of who they really are, and they trick and they fool, and they don't even have your best interest, but they're playing as life coaches. They come up and they play as all of these things to lure you in. What's that dude named? Jackson, the dude that had all the women after him. You know what I'm saying? And then it's easy because you just get into the gym. People like the eye candy and stuff like that. So it's like you draw them in, but your intentions, what your intentions leads to, you pay the intentions on the way to hell. How'd that go?
No, people no, you're right.
But their intentions are not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could, swindlers, scammers, schemers, and they're growing so much because they keep feeding themselves. They don't kill the parasite. The parasite, they feed it.
Mm-hmm.
They feed it with ego, so they keep feeding the parasite. Now it's keep pushing you to do something. This is why we got to come up. Come on, Mitch. I can't wait till you come.
He's here. He's in the background.
Oh yeah. So you need some type of mental, like, need a magician there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need to perform some type of magic in this madness world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got my wand. You got to get your wand.
Right.
Your wand together, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going to take up the show because it's not about me building. It's about this incredible guest that we have came through before. It kind of blew all of our minds. AD, y'all took it to the next level. Hey D, I don't know what kind of questions or what hit you, but you was asking some good questions, man. I think
Yeah,
that was
I like all the topic.
yeah. I like the kind. Well, our brother right here, Mitch, he comes through with dope topics, things that we love, and we're about magic. We're about growing. We're about Manly P Hall, the occultic, esoteric, just stepping up to a next level, brother. And man, you take it to that next level. Let's go. Without further ado, let me introduce y'all, man. Mitch Horowitz, man.
What's
Thank
good?
you.
Yeah.
It's good to be with you all. Good to see you, man. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I liked what you were saying about the problem of people in public and on social media making promises, but we don't know who they are.
That's right.
And one of my ethics is I make myself available to everybody. My girlfriend thinks I'm out of my mind, but my website has my real email. Anybody's got a problem can reach out to me and contact me. They will hear back. Or if they want to say something nice, heaven forbid, they will hear back.
Right.
And we have to make, I mean, listen, it's everybody, everybody has to determine for themselves, how they want to be in the world. But I make a lot of claims, and my wish is to be available. If somebody wants to reach me, they can reach me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell when a brother is genuine in these days, man. Well, you can't. But you can see, you can feel the energy that's coming off from people that's genuine. And I say, you you got that spirit. And when you hear you talk, it's like, oh man. I'm a big fan, and a lot of people that I know that's gonna be calling in. Probably some of them come through as a big fan of Mandy P. Hall work, man. And the last time you was here, we didn't get a chance to really get deep into that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, without further ado, man, I would love to. What's your take on Manly?
I love him. I wouldn't. Manly P. Hall, for anybody who doesn't know, was a scholar of occultism, esotericism, symbolism, all esoteric truths throughout the ages. He lived and worked most of his life in Los Angeles, died in 1990, and he wrote a colossal book called The Secret Teachings of All Ages, which you mentioned on Podcraft the other night. And that book came out in 1928.
Wow.
Manly was 27 years old when he wrote it. It's this massive codex to all the secret symbolism and cryptograms and inner philosophies of the ages. It's massive. I mean, when it first came out, it was the size of a whole tabletop. And the book touched me in such a way that it put me on my current path. It taught me that a person could write the history of the occult and the esoteric, both from a practical perspective, from a historical perspective, as a vocation, as a way of life. And so I never met the man, but he's responsible for everything that I'm doing. And if he didn't walk the earth, there'd be a lot of things that we would be missing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It was like during that time they had a couple of people that came out with books, and I know you about that. Could you tell us a little bit more about that time? I know that you had Madame Levinsky, so I'm just listening.
Yeah, Madame Blavatsky is on the shirt.
I see that.
I love her.
Yeah.
And on the back of the shirt, it has an expression of hers that, if you want to learn to swim, you got to dive into deep water. That's the only way to do it.
Right.
And so that was an exciting time in this country in a way, because we were coming off of this whole occult revival of the late 19th century. We were trying as best we can to recover fragments from ancient Egypt, fragments from the ancient empires, Persia, Greece, Rome, and some of the ancient Greek Egyptian literature called Hermetic literature was getting translated for the very first time into English. And Madame Blavatsky was already long dead. She had died in 1889, but Manly was on the scene, and he was trying to pull together all this information in a way that was really usable, in a way that was accessible to the individual. And he didn't have, I mean, even at that time, there were libraries, but not that many. You know, the New York Public Library was just opening. Uh, British Library was just opening. You didn't have public libraries where people could go. Obviously, there was no digital culture. So it was amazing. I mean, it was more than ordinary. You know, it was superhuman that Manly
Mm,
Hall, at age 27, young man, was able to
mm,
pull together this massive book. When people approach this book, and it used to be a very underground book, today it's much better known. It used to be very underground. When people approach this book, they would think, wow, this was the work of some aged British antiquarian who spent his whole life, gathering, curating esoteric and occult and mythological ideas. And it's a life well spent. And then when people learned that this was a 27-year-old, blew them away.
wow.
Very,
I didn't even know that.
Mm.
27. Wow.
believe. And I've been through it. I mean, I've been up and down that book. I have read every word of it. A teacher of mine said, "You may be among 1.5 people who have read the whole thing." And so
Wow.
I'm the half.
Wow.
I read the whole thing careful, backwards, forwards, every which way. I had the book reset because many years ago I put out what we called a reader's edition of the book. It was the full text, but
Right.
it was in a smaller size. So you could carry it around with you and so on. And I never cracked the code of it. I never cracked the secret of it. How Manly did this. I think he was a great man in many ways. He was a great scholar, and I think it's possible that he was receiving information through maybe what you would call some sort of a sixth sense. And I do believe such things are possible, and I think that may have been going on.
Wow.
Mm.
He probably was tapped into that same frequency that Tesla was tapped in.
Yes. That's a great comparison.
Mm,
And it's funny because, I mean, I think a lot of people have this experience. It doesn't always last. It doesn't always last. There can be a period of years where the individual is tapped into something very potent, very powerful. And, there may be a stretch of time where it exists and then it's gone. I think,
wow.
Manley lived until 1990. He was 89 years old when he died, and his death, I think it's fair to say, his death was not a happy one. It was a tough end for him. And he was worried that nobody was going to talk about him, that he was going to be forgotten. There were these con artists who kind of snuck into his life and took over his estate. A lot of problems. It was very tragic. And I think one of the difficulties that he may have experienced is that he peaked very young, and he was tapped in at a very, very young age. And I think there were decades ahead that sometimes be lonely and could be difficult, where he couldn't fully figure out what should be act two.
Wow.
Mm.
Man, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell the audience, like, what was the gist of his message?
I think his message was this, that there exists a primeval religion, and that this primeval religion, Madame Blavatsky called it a secret doctrine,
Mm,
known across humanity, everywhere that there was a human community, this primeval philosophy was known. And then I suppose you could say that the story of the Tower of Babel kind of plays out across human history, and we divide into nations and different languages and different geography and different clubs. And once we have our clubs, we're certain that we're right, and the
Mm.
guy over the hill, he's wrong.
right.
And I think what Manley was trying to do in Secret Teachings of All Ages, and I think he did do it,
Right.
is that he tried to demonstrate that if you look at um, the fragments that have reached us from the ancient Egyptian religion, if you look at religious cultures in different parts of the world, Vedic culture, Buddhist culture, the so-called pagan practices of the ancient Romans and Greeks,
Mm-hmm.
we're all part of the same club. We're all practicing the same religion. The names are different, the rituals are different, the languages are different, but it's the same essential outlook with some differences that get incorporated in along the way. That's what he was trying to accomplish. And I think he succeeded. It's impossible to read that book and not come away feeling that we're all inheritors of a primeval philosophy if we care about it, and if we care to look for it.
A lot of people want to know, what did he study? Was he astrologist? How did that come to him, man, like that, man? Like what was his form of religion?
Well, it's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
He believed in reincarnation. He believed in what we would call karma or reciprocal ethics.
Mm-hmm.
He believed in
Me
like
too.
some kind of stewardship of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and those really were his primary beliefs. His
Right.
bibliography, you're asking what did he read, what did he
Yeah.
study?
Yeah.
Bibliography had over 1,000 entries in it. And
Crazy.
so when you go into the book, for example, you'll find chapters, sometimes more than one chapter, on tarot, on astrology, on Kabbalah, on like questions of Atlantis. Now, dig this.
Mm-hmm.
The book contains two chapters on Pythagorean mathematics. And
Yeah.
really, it's a math lesson. It's a math lesson, but it's exciting because he explains to the reader, what we call arithmetic today, what we call geometry today, was a sacred language to the ancients.
Mm-hmm.
And they used this to measure the nature of the cosmos. And they discovered that what you see in the cosmos, the various angles and geometric
Mm-hmm.
shapes and slopes that occur in the cosmos,
Right.
they occur in us as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, this is where the ancient Egyptian expression, as above, so below, comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at this, and it's very exciting to me because if you talk to almost any kid today, any kid will say to you, "Oh, I hate math. I don't get math. I can't do it. I don't like it. It's boring." Okay. But if math was taught this way, that it's a
Mm-hmm.
language of the gods, it's a language that unlocks the code of creation, that the symmetry that you see in a shell of a snail, for example, is the
Mm-hmm.
same mathematically as the symmetry of a leaf or of some sort of naturally occurring object, like the distance of various cosmic or planetary bodies from one another. And that same thing occurs in us. The pentagram is intended to represent this. And what is the pentagram? The five-pointed star, but the human form, the head, two arms, two legs. These basic numerical formulas repeat in the cosmos, they repeat in the individual. Sometimes we call them the golden mean or the golden ratio. All
Mm-hmm.
kinds of square roots will repeat in cosmic life, in individual life. This is part of the meaning of as above, so below. And I believe that if kids could be taught math this way to understand that, there's a purpose behind this. There's a
Mm-hmm.
purpose behind this that connects us to the ancients. They might be more interested.
Mm. Man, this is heavy. Now where was LaFay? Was LaFay around during this time? LaFay, Alvin Pike, and all of those guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were like from an earlier time. I mean, he admired Manly Hall admired Albert Pike very much. Pike was a powerful force in Freemasonry.
Mm.
Uh, I mean, I think Manley joined Freemasonry later in life. He admired Albert Pike. He
Right.
admired Madam H.P. Blavatsky.
Wow.
I don't think he admired Aleister Crowley very much. He and Crowley sort of occupied different polarities, but there
Yeah.
too, as above, so below. We need these polarities.
Right.
Without Aleister Crowley and without Austin Osman Spare and some of the magicians of that era, we wouldn't have chaos magic,
That's
something that
right.
in, that I'm interested in. So he was a tough critic, Manly Hall. You know, he I think the only figures that I heard him really single out for praise within the occult framework were Albert Pike and Madame H.P. Blavatsky. I'm sure there were others. I know he admired Madame Blavatsky's protege, Annie Besant, who was amazing, and I love her. But he probably didn't like Crowley and some of the other figures. He didn't mention them. When he did mention them, it wasn't always positive.
Right, 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 man. But that's the yin and yang, the balance. Sometimes you
Exactly.
need the balance, man. Some people would say that these guys were masters of the mind, and they were masters with magic and
Yeah.
things. And I never was too scared or frightened. Me at one point, there was like frightened of this type of knowledge that you presenting right now. You think the
Mhm.
time is ready? That people are ready for this now?
I think they're not only ready, but they need it because everybody's suffering under so much stress. Everybody's suffering under so much fatigue. And people have serious needs. They have financial needs, they have career needs, they have relationship needs. And my effort, what I'm trying to do, is to take magic and strip away all the complexities and boil it down to something very, very simple that the individual can use immediately, like right away. You know, for example, we hear the term sex magic and it sounds so spooky and alluring and what is it?
Yeah.
And and like using sexuality in magical ways, using sexuality as like a ritual to bring about results. And again, it appears throughout the human story. You find it in Kabbalah, you find it in Taoism, you find it in Tantra. It's tucked away in
Mhm.
our religious traditions.
Mhm.
And so I want to take something like that and make it very, very simple so that it's time. Like we live in an age of disclosure. I think that people are in desperate need of help, and I think they're entitled to that help.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's fine, man. That just took me. That took me somewhere. Yeah, that was. Man, it just slipped my mind right now because
Yeah.
you just dropped that so right. Yeah,
Mhm.
I remember them coming out before though. Well, and maybe you could break this down too. You think it was like a connection with when they came out with the secret? Was that part of it?
It's
Uh,
funny you bring that up because I just read an article. I wrote an article recently about The Secret. I get tired of hearing people piss on The Secret. A
right,
lot of people in my world piss on The Secret
right,
because they think it makes them seem serious.
right,
Mm.
Sign of seriousness. I hate The Secret. Well,
right.
somebody liked it.
Right.
And I defend The Secret because I don't agree with everything that the author Rhonda Byrne is about. I have differences with Rhonda and I have criticized Rhonda, but at the same time, I honor her and I respect her. All right, thank you.
This the book
On.
right here. Yo.
Thank
Yeah, I gotta check this, man. I'm gonna ask you some questions about it.
you.
This is mad
Real.
incredible.
Secret has helped millions of people ask themselves the question, can I use my mind in greater ways than what I've been taught? And that's a great question. And I really do believe that our thoughts are causative, that our thoughts make things happen. The area where I differ from Rhonda and from The Secret is I don't believe that's the only game in town. I don't believe that's the only thing going on. I think we live under a complexity of laws and forces.
Yeah.
That's why, in terms of her system, like she's interested in law of attraction, for example. I'm interested in that too, but that's not a phrase I use because it gives people the suggestion that your thoughts are the only game in town, the only thing going down. And
Yeah.
I don't, I don't, I don't have any way of verifying that. I think we live under a vast range of natural laws, and these laws all affect one another. I mean, everybody would agree, well, you know, what we call gravity is real. It's a natural law. It's ever operative. Yeah, but it changes based on mass. So I'll experience gravity different on Earth than I would on the moon or on Jupiter. It's the same force, but it's going to be different, based on mass. And so that's the deal that we live under in this realm. So I don't think we live under just one mental law, but I do believe that thoughts are causative, and I do believe that can be a real help to the individual.
Well, we got to keep in mind also that the law of attraction is only one of 12 universal laws.
Right. You're referencing
Mm.
Kabbalion, right? Like with the 12
Right,
laws?
the 12 universal laws. There's a bunch of laws out there. Like there's a law of divine oneness, law of vibration, correspondence, inspired
Yes.
action,
That's right.
compensation. But the secret is they just took one of the laws, which is the law of attraction, and made it into this whole documentary, which kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
cool.
my man Neville Goddard. Neville is a great mystic. I got a tattoo of him over here. He's a British Barbadian mystic. He died in 1972. Now Neville does believe that everything that we see, everything that we experience is our own mental pictures and our own thoughts and emotions pushed out into the world. And I I have my differences with Neville, but I love him because he argues for that point of view so beautifully and so elegantly. And if anybody listening wants to check out some of what we're talking about, just put Neville Goddard into Google. You'll be happy you did. He's got lectures and all kinds of things up
I'm gonna check.
online. I love him.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Put that in there for
Neville
me.
Goddard. Yeah.
Man,
He
go ahead.
he's one of the greats. He's one of the
Wow.
big influences on my life. He died in 1972. I never knew him, but I mean, I was,
Right.
probably watching Sesame Street, but
See that dude.
I love him, man.
Who's that?
Word. Oh man.
They post him on Instagram
Oh yeah.
every now and then.
That's heavy. I gotta check out some of his stuff, man. Man, you got spontaneous deity petition.
Yes.
Whew, tell us
When you're in
about that.
trouble,
Yeah.
ask for help, man.
Right.
It's we grow up with this idea. We grew up with this idea here in the West that we can only pray a certain way,
Right.
and if you look at the Bible, you see that there's all kinds of prayers going on. People are arguing with God.
Right.
They're making deals with God. They're getting in fights with God. Like look at the story of Cain. Cain, we're told, slays his brother Abel,
Right.
and God says to him, "Well, we're going to make you into a nomad, and you're just going to wander the earth. You're going to belong to no tribe, no family." And Cain actually argues with him and says, "Well, that's too severe because anybody who comes upon me will kill me. That's
Right.
too severe. You've got to rethink this." And
Right.
and we're told in Genesis that God rethinks it and says, "All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put a mark on you, the mark of Cain, and that will protect you because it will communicate that anybody who harms you will suffer 10 times the harm himself." And Cain goes on to have a family, become a teacher, and
Yeah.
and he goes on with his life.
Right.
So, when a person is facing desperation, there's no one way to pray, and there's no one force to pray to. I mean, our ancestors were polytheistic. We here in the West think in terms of one God because that's been conditioned into us by centuries and centuries. But for most of human history, even in what we call the West, which encompasses, I would say, North Africa, Middle East, Persia, Greece, Rome, they were praying to different household gods, local gods. We can rediscover that. That's not lost to us. And don't be afraid. Speak up. I mean, Sarah, Abraham's wife, argued with God. Jonah argued with God. Cain argued with God.
Right.
You know, I mean, ask if you need something. Ask. See what happens. And maybe you're not in the mood to accept no. Cain wasn't in the mood to accept no.
I always thought someone was crazy about that. Yeah, exactly. Because it was like, um, Cain came with vegetables and stuff like that, and it was just like, man, it's not good for you, vegetables. And then it was just like, after Abel came with his stuff, he accepted Abel but didn't accept Cain.
Right.
And it's almost like he knew, like, yo, where's your brother? Already know you don't kill that man. Because it seemed like he's kind of set him up a little bit to me. This is something I hold deep down inside, man. But it seemed like Abel had a bad deal. Like, he didn't want to put his hands on him himself, so yeah, Cain do it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot there.
For real, am I tripping?
No.
Did he protect him? Why didn't he protect him from the beginning?
Right. Why didn't he protect him from the beginning? And, people can debate these things, but I would say, oh boy, we're going to get comments. I would say, I read about this in Practical Magic.
Right.
He did have a point of view of his own. And we assume he's just evil and he's just bad. Well, we're given very little information. But Cain did have a point of view of his own. And he did become a teacher, we're told, to those who do stonework or brickwork, design jewelry. And he did go on to a life and he had descendants. And so we're walking around today. If there's any historical lineage to the Bible, tucked way deep away, that's one of our ancestors, one of our primary ancestors, if one groks to Western scripture.
Right.
So if we damn him, we damn ourselves,
That's real. It's like, yeah, that's controversy a little bit, man. But I always had thoughts about that. It's like, he could have told Abel in the beginning, like, let me put a mark. He didn't put a mark on him. Right. He was just like, wait, he could have put the mark on Abel from the beginning. Yo, at least any man see you, they gonna harm. But he put it on Cain. Look him up for a minute. Yeah, I got my man Hakeim. Yeah, AD. When you come back, but I got somebody else that's in the audience. I mean, they on what's the name? They want to ask you some questions. It's gonna be dope, man. Because got your book, following your work, man. This is the petition of deities, logic of tarots.
Yeah, I say tarot works, and in that chapter, Logic of Tarot, I tried to make the case for that. My way of working with tarot cards is to lay out 3 cards. I keep everything very simple, very simple.
Right.
And some of, listen, this is the case I make in the chapter. It could be that anytime you're working with something, whether it's a piece of writing, whether it's an exchange like we're having right now, whether it's laying out tarot cards, it could be that when you capture that moment, it's like a snapshot of reality. It's a snapshot of everything that's going on, past, present, future. And we have it so hammered into us that time, whatever that is, functions like an arrow. It just moves in a straight line, and past is what happened, present is right now, future is what's going to happen. But the truth is, life is not really that way. Not only have the mystics told us that, but we've known since Einstein that time is relative. Time bends. Einstein taught us that time bends in conditions at or near light speed. Now dig this. This is dead to rights true. The astronauts in our own era, even though they are moving nowhere near the velocity of light speed, they do experience minute but measurable reductions in the aging process. Absolute fact, as true as the words I'm speaking. And it's freaky because it should not happen. And yet it's real. It's real. And Einstein's theories have been proven. So when you lay out, say, 3 tarot cards, or when you have an idea, a thought, or even a conversation, an exchange, we think it's all just happening right now. But there's no such thing as right now. Time is messy. Time is chaotic. It's arrows shooting all at once everywhere. And one of my source of inspiration, G.I. Gurdjieff, a great mystic, he said that the The past controls the future, but the present controls the past. And he was trying to get at the same thing. And people think, oh, that's just some weird figure of speech. It's really not, you know. He was being very direct. When you've got the ancient mystics, modern mystics, Einstein agreeing on something, it's time to pay attention, you know.
Man. Yo, we got the great Hakeim Supreme in the building. What's up, my brother? Is your mic on? Oh, we can't. He was at the show before, and he said, "Man, do you know who you got on there, Priest? Man, I got some questions." He said, "Man, this brother, man," and look, man, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all these books too that you gave us, man.
My pleasure.
This is incredible.
My pleasure.
The Initiates of the Flame. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And yours is right up along with that, man, because your work is incredible, and I'm looking through it again, and you got some incredible stuff. And thank you for signing it for me, man.
Oh, a pleasure. I mean, to have the opportunity, and a shout out to our mutual friend John Newsom, because John, in addition to being a truly great artist, you know, he's the one that connects humanity. I mean, he just, you know, he finds people who should be having an exchange, and he makes it happen. So.
Yeah, he's a light soul, man. He's a light soul. He's got the rainbow body thing going. Word, that's incredible. Yeah.
Hey, peace, Priest. I'm on.
Oh, you on? You on? All right, no doubt, man. Yes, man. We got Mitch Horowitz in the building. We got the great Hike. It's going to be incredible, man. Do you have any questions? First, let me introduce y'all to. Go ahead.
Hey, Mitch, how you doing?
Pleasure, man. Good to hear you.
I'm a huge fan of Manly P. Hall, and I've watched you, I think for like the last 6 years when PRS, I think it was during when the UPR side of it, they had premiered you as one of the premier lecturers. So I've been following to see how you would do with the reader's edition and things like that. So I'm pretty familiar with Manly. So my questions may be a little bit, I've read some of his bibliography, but I don't know if those are legit, like the Master of the Mysteries, things like that. I wanted to ask you, Manly would lecture, and I heard you say that, I heard a podcast where you were speaking that even when he spoke, he could sit down without any notes of anything. He would speak for an hour to an hour and a half without a or a hum. And he believed that if a person needed notes, that they didn't know the subject matter well enough. If that's the case, and everyone talks about, you know, what he was doing. Some people say he didn't write, that his secretary, he just dictated. So I'm asking you a question. How was he able to speak on so many subjects fluently? Was his memory that impeccable?
Well, those are wonderful questions. I want to say one thing that's a little bit occult, and then I'll get back down to kind of being direct as I'm able about those matters. I do know this. Manly, and I was told this by the person who immediately followed him as president.
Obadiah?
Obadiah.
Yeah.
Obadiah Harris, yeah. Gave me my start, Obadiah Harris. And Obadiah, he told me that Manly had in his office a beautiful Tibetan Buddhist altar, which is still there. And this Tibetan Buddhist altar had on it a little obsidian statue of the Egyptian cat god Bastet. Now, Bastet is supposed to help you see in the dark, broadly defined, see in the dark. And so he would rub the head of Bastet before he would exit his office and go into the auditorium and ask for the ability to see in the dark. I do that. I have a statue of Bastet that was given to me as a gift in Egypt, and I treasure it. My children have managed to break it twice, and I have glued it back together. And there's a Zen expression: there's a crack in everything that creation made. So I try to just take it in that spirit. But I do believe that Manly, he may have had what we call a photographic memory. He definitely wrote his own stuff. Later in life, he was more apt to speak rather than write, and his speeches, his lectures were transcribed into books or pamphlets, which he would then edit. But he certainly did write, a great deal. And your question, the key thing is how? How does a man produce this output? The best I could possibly come to is that it's just intense passion for the subject, the willingness to just read to the point where your eyes are fatigued and then drop it, and then something else happens, some other alchemical operation happens. I do believe there is a sixth sense. I do believe that the mind has extra physical qualities, and it may be that when we try intensely hard, those qualities may start to kick in, and I think that may have happened with Manly.
Wow. So I'll tell you what I saw in an interview. He was being interviewed by, I think this gentleman was an occultist, and he was asked on that subject of how is he able to speak and remember so many things on different subjects. And he answered the other occultist by saying that, well, you being an occultist, you would know this. It is easier to tell you what I know than to tell you how I know what
Yeah.
I know. And I thought that was intriguing. So I've been chasing to find that out. Like, how was he ever? Because I listened to him intensely. I pretty much have every book that Manly P. Hall ever wrote, and I've probably listened to almost every lecture,
Yeah.
at least the ones that I'm most interested in. Uh, I haven't had a chance to visit PRS. I'm supposed to do that later this year,
Oh,
but
good.
I would just watch and listen to see if he did it line up with what he said. And he would, I think the book is talks with occult students, where he speaks on the true teacher. He speaks on just how you go about a lecture, and he lays out the base for all of these things that he does. And I've heard many oratories, but I've never heard anyone like Manly be able to speak without a stammer and a stammer like that. So there's some mystique. I know you talked about making him, humanizing him a little bit more, but I noticed that he was raised by his grandmother. His mother, I think he lived with his grandmother, but I never hear much about his father. Is there
Yeah.
any history on Manly? I know he's Canadian, but there always seemed to be some level of mystique behind that. I haven't seen any information on his history. Can
The
you tell
best,
me anything?
yeah. The best I've understood from my research is that Manly's parents split while mom was pregnant. And so, and mom was a bit of a free thinker. This was I mean, Manly was born in 1901, and there are pictures of her. She's got long hair. She wears a wristwatch, which is kind of unusual for a woman at that time. She played violin. She was a bit of a free thinker. I think she was a chiropractor by training. And she and Manly's father split, and he was born in Peterborough, Canada, in the province of Ontario, and he had a grandmother in the American West, and she took charge of him, and he was not enrolled in school. They lived and traveled uh, throughout the West, sometimes to Chicago, sometimes to New York to visit museums. It was only when he was about 15 years old that he was enrolled for the first time in a school, and that was a military academy here in New York City. And very soon after, his grandmother died, And that was the only parenting he knew. So he traveled out west to LA to be with his mother. And when he got there, I think that I think that his mother, she was never fully a caregiver to him, and he came into different occult orders. One was called the Rosicrucian Fellowship, and the
Yeah,
Rose.
that was Max Handel and his wife, correct? He
Boom,
was, yeah,
exactly. You
yeah.
know, and
No, absolutely.
they became surrogate parents to
Okay.
him. But he came to feel, and I think very rightly, that these Rosicrucian organizations, they're all falling all over one another to say who's the real thing. They all claim ancient lineage, and he felt that was just kind of imaginary. He didn't really feel that he wanted to get involved in these debates. So he left and he went out on his own, and he just became known as a boy wonder very, very quickly in Southern Cali. And Southern Cali, I mean, look, at that time, California was still a cow town. It was ranches, orange groves, but you had a lot of money there. You had railroad people, you had oil people, and they said, "Hey, we want our own museums. We want our own schools." So they funded him. They gave him money to travel. They gave him money to build PRS, and he used it well.
And I believe that he also, one of the first community that he was a part of was a organization called the Church of the People. That was originally where he was
Yep,
before speaking. I
Church of
think
the
he
People.
spoke at like a bank or something, like he
That's
spoke on
right.
astrology. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to lay that out first to ask my next question. I remember calling PRS in the mid 90s when I heard this. Was Manly P. Hall murdered?
that's a good
Are you able
question.
to? Yeah.
That's a
Like,
that's a very important question.
Wow.
Um, Manly Hall had a very tragic death. Um, I've researched it with care. Um, the LAPD had a file open for about 5 years after Manly's death. There were definitely people who believed Manly was murdered. Manly's widow Marie believed that he was murdered. There were cops who believed that he was murdered. Um, and I'll tell you a funny piece of history. This is going to blow your mind. A lot of people don't know this. Manly's body, okay, Manly was, after his death, he was given a forensic examination. And the forensic doctor said he died of natural causes. Well, his wife, Marie, did not accept that. She thought he was murdered. So she later had the body excavated and she had it subjected to a new autopsy with a new forensic doctor. And that doctor found that there were mistakes and there were very serious problems in the earlier autopsy. Now, dig this, a lot of people don't know this, but during the trial of O.J. Simpson, O.J.'s own legal team actually cited the case of Manly P. Hall to say police forensics get it wrong all the time, all the time. And that case, Manly Hall's case, was submitted into evidence by O.J.'s legal team because they wanted to poke holes in the story that, oh, the
Oh
forensics
man,
stands. Is that crazy? You know, and
oh, that's
and so,
crazy.
isn't that something?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
I don't think Manley was murdered, but I do think that he was a victim of what we today might call elder abuse. Towards the end of his life, he was still mentally very sharp, but he was morbidly overweight, and I think he was depressed because he was worried that all the work he had done was going to die with him. He didn't need to be worried about that because, I mean, we're talking about him right now in 2025.
Right.
He's got more readers today than he did during his whole lifetime. But he was depressed and he was worried. And these two con artists, a father and son team of con artists, they managed to insinuate their way into Manly's world. And they convinced him that they could digitize and spread his work all over the world. And they started to convince him to fire people around him and to distance himself from people around him and let them run everything. About a week before Manly's death, and this is where the suspicions really start to come in. About a week before Manly's death, one of these con artists persuaded him to change his will and sign all of his assets, his antique books, everything, lots of money, property, over to one of these con artists. And a criminal court judge
Sorry, my
said
cat.
said this doesn't pass anybody's sniff test, and he negated the will, and a lot of legal battles followed. Now, if you can believe it, both con artists soon died. One died of cancer, and
Yeah, I
one
was like,
HIV.
one of them died. Uh, there was two of them, correct?
Yeah, father
Okay.
and son. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
weird. Eh, Now, at the end of the day, um, there were really weird inconsistencies with Manly's death. There were his body was outside when he died, and the body was moved from outside to inside. The body, I don't like saying this, but the body was like infested with ants, and that gave it away that this elderly man had been left outside. Why had he been left outside? And there was a lot of questions. I think they abused him. I don't think in the end that they killed him. I mean, not directly.
I understand.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Um, what qualified you? I mean, they liked you at PRS and they wanted you on board. I saw your acceptance speech and all of that. What did you have to do to for them to fill such big shoes?
Well, I
I
didn't
read.
tell them, I'm just a guy, I'm just a seeker, and they opened up their podium to me, gave me a direction in life, But I remember I was talking to Obadiah Harris one day. I had worked with him. I said to him around 2003 that I wanted his permission to take Secret Teachings of All Ages, retypeset it, redesign it, and turn it into this reader's edition. It's unabridged. The illustrations are abridged. And I went through it with great care to make sure that no illustrations would be removed that were necessary to understanding the text. And so I wanted to create this reader's edition so people could really dig into it. And so he gave me permission to do that. And one day he said to me, I live in New York City and PRS is in LA. And he said to me, look, if you're ever in the neighborhood, our podium is open to you. So I did what I'm always telling my kids to do. I said, okay, I will be in the neighborhood, in September. I think this was in July that we were talking. And I said, so I'm ready. Uh, I wasn't offered any money. I wasn't offered any place to stay, nothing. But I was offered the opportunity to speak. So I said yes, and I showed up. And I gave a talk called The Occult Philosophy in American Life. And that became my first book, Occult America. It all started there.
Yeah, I have it. It's a great book.
Thank you.
Um, how do you feel that lines up with Manly P. Hall's America's Assignment with Destiny? And right now I can't recall the other. He had two books on America.
Destiny of America, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of book. I mean, Manly, I would say Manly believed, and I say this with veneration, that myth matters more than history insofar as myth is what's behind history. Myth is eternal because human nature is eternal. I'm kind of blow by blow guy. And so I made my best effort in Occult America to say, I know that there have been currents of myth and esoteric ideas that have shaped our nation, I think, in very deep ways. And so that's what I wanted to try to accomplish in that book. After the book came out, and this was freaky, I discovered that Ronald Reagan had cut and copied some passages from Manly Hall in his speeches. And he had done it from the 1950s when he began his political career up through the second term of his presidency. And it's unmistakable because you find some of the phrases. So, people talk about occult history is real, that's as real as it gets.
Wow. What about Harry, real quick? Did Harry, Houdini, and Manly P ever cross paths?
I never found anything that suggested that they crossed paths. They were a little bit from different generations, and Harry probably died just as Manly was coming into prominence. I'm sure they heard of one another, but I never found any evidence that they crossed paths. The evidence that I did find was Elvis Presley and Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a question about. I know you mentioned Blavatsky. Spoke on Blavatsky, Albert Pike. He was definitely. He said that a major influence was Saint Germain,
Yeah.
but I never heard him speak on Beverly, Pascal, Randall. Have you read anything where he spoke on him?
That is such a great question. Randolph was a great occultist, a free man of black descent who was born in the Five Points neighborhood in Lower Manhattan before the Civil War and died in 1875. Randolph was not very well known at the time of Manly's life and career, at least when Manly was a younger man. When Randolph died in 1875, he was a somewhat obscure figure, and it's only more recently that he's come to be known. But we use the term sex magic. Randolph was
Right.
the modern figure who brought attention to sex magic. And his formula was so simple, and this is what I try to go back to, the simplicity. He taught basically holding a wish at the time of climax. You don't have to tell anybody you're doing it. You don't have to tell your shrink. You don't have to tell anybody. It's your private thing. But he felt that's a moment where our like rational defenses are lowered, and that a thought planted at that moment has a kind of communicative or ripple effect. A lot of magic, and Randolph, I think, really understood this, and he was a great pioneer. I think Randolph
That's
really,
it.
you got to get past the rational mind. We need the rational mind, but it gets in our way.
Wow. Yeah. Randolph. He also wrote a book, I believe, on pre-Adamites. I think I have that pre-Adamites, and but they said that the character Doctor Strange is loosely based on Pascal Randall. That he also had a rivalry with Blavatsky, Madame Blavatsky. Do you know of
Yeah,
that?
they didn't get along. Yeah.
Wow. This is getting deep.
Typical,
Wow.
what do we do whenever whenever we have a religious idea, the first thing we do is we look for enemies, who doesn't agree with me? And so Randolph and Madame Blavatsky, I love them both. I love them both. But yeah, they didn't get along. And Madame Blavatsky was tough to get along with. I mean, it was very
She could
easy.
be a grump. Manley said that she could find the most intelligent way to tell you that you were stupid.
That's right.
I know she found a lot of people in the West that because she was a woman,
Yeah.
that really thought she was a charlatan. And I've heard the lectures that Manley did on her, the whole lecture series
That's
that
one of
he
my
did on
favorites.
her. Yeah, it's really like even on the parts where she needed a book, but the book was only I think it was in the British Library, so she couldn't get the book. So they said she's clairvoyant, and she was able to get. She went and looked clairvoyantly, seeing the pages, and was able to get footnotes for secret doctrine. And only later, there was only one page that she was blurred, and when they actually got a chance to verify the book, that it had been bookworms had eaten that page. That's why she couldn't see it. I don't know how true that
Yeah,
is, but just
that's the
That's
story that
yeah,
hard.
gets told.
Bookworms
That's
ate
the
the
story that gets
page.
told. You know, people to this day, there's a lot of people that think, oh, Madame Blavatsky, carnival performer, fake. Well, one of the things I take pains to point out in Occult America, modern occultism, Gandhi himself said that it was Madame Blavatsky who personally inspired him, who gave him his initial idea of
Really?
universal
Mm.
brotherhood. Yeah. And he
Wow.
spoke about this in interviews, letters, journals. He spoke about it in interviews right up to the end of his life. He met her. Um, he met her in 1888 in London. 1886. He
Mm.
was in London as a law student, and he failed his matriculation exams, and he was losing his way. He just didn't know if he wanted to be a lawyer, didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. He's a vegetarian living in London in 1886. The food is bad enough if you eat meat, but here's Gandhi. He's lost, he's alone. He meets Madame Blavatsky. He says that she gives him a copy of a book called The Key to Theosophy, and that it gave him his first
Yeah.
insight into what he needed to do with his life. And this is not mysterious. I give references where he wrote about this, he talked about this in interviews, and yet our culture will not accept it, will not accept it, because we think, oh, Madame Blavatsky, she was some weirdo. It's like, well, some weirdo. Gandhi went on to found what is today in India the largest electoral democracy in the world. That's Madame Blavatsky.
Wow. Yes, I remember in the Key to Theosophy, which is really like Manly's. Well, no, it's just really a question and answer between I think a priest, and they have it written as an inquirer, but I'm assuming that's her. And she was speaking about Christianity and how the history of how slaves were brought over here to North America in a ship, the good ship Jesus, in 1555, which is something I know, but it's rare that you will see someone have that as the date. They usually have slavery starting like in the 1600s, but there was like 64 years that most historians don't speak on. But Madame Blavatsky had that, and she was kind of shaming the church, saying that it wasn't so righteous, and having to bring Africans over on the ship, the good ship Jesus, in 1555. So it's one of my favorite books by her.
Yeah,
Wow.
she mentioned one other thing that dovetails with that. In 1888, Madame Blavatsky wrote her great two-volume book, The Secret Doctrine. In that book, and I give people the direct quote, page number, go right to it. In that book, she says, in effect, California, Southern California, LA, is going to be the birth of the new age, of a new epoch in human development. It's very hard to foresee that in 1888. Southern California, farmland, ranch land, some gold digging, nothing like it became within a generation with the movie business, railroads, shipping, oil. It's nothing like that. It was a cow town. And she said this is where the new age is going to take place. Well, how do you know that in 1888? It's not ordinary.
Wow, I didn't know that. Hey, thank you, Mitch. I don't have any more questions, but I want to ask one more. I don't know if you could give me this, but so tonight or tomorrow, the new Superman movie drops, right? And I wanted to know, do you have what's your perspective on the occult meaning behind Superman? I've studied it. I've found a lot with it, but have you delved into that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think superheroes are just our way of communing with the gods. I think maybe in the 21st century we don't have Hercules, but we have Superman, and there's a real thing behind that. There's a real thing behind that. I believe in these deific energies. I believe that the individual can become developed beyond what we're told is possible. I think we saw it in Manly Hall. I think we saw it in Madame Blavatsky, and I think Superman is a metaphor for that. I think it's the gods, come back to earth.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, real quick, Superman goes. His real name is what?
Kyle.
Yeah, there you go, right
Huh?
there.
L.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle.
Mhm.
That's heavy. That's
The
heavy.
question I always ask is not who Superman was, but what about Lois Lane? You know, you notice that when Superman married Lois Lane, he had to give up all of his powers. Um, some have said that that's what that represented, the lowest lane, the lowest plane. So he had to, those rules were set in place for him. I think back when he was at the Fortress of Solitude, to that if he ever partaked in like the human experience totally, that he would have to give up his powers.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Delilah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
Superman Delilah.
There you go.
That's all.
Those
That's
versions
crazy.
of the ladies, you know, it's like just archetype, you know.
Wow. Can I add on to that, fellas?
No, I don't got no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm absorbing information. That's
Yeah,
dope.
that's heavy. That's heavy.
I mean, he did defy universal law when
Mhm.
he tried to go back and reverse when those human events that happened. Remember, he went in reverse, and they were telling him not to do that. That's one of the things he couldn't do, was to interfere with human life. And when Lois Lane died, he couldn't handle that, so he went in reverse to bring her back to life.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Is that the one with Richard Pryor?
No, that's number 3.
Oh, number 3,
This
right.
is this is the first one, and then you look at, was that number? Remember, in the first one, you got the 24 elders consulting with his father, deciding what they were going to do on Krypton, right?
Right.
But you also have they sent him away. But something that you should pay attention to is General Zod. General Zod, right? That's a play. God is very big, and you have those 3 builders of the world. That's why in part 2, when he comes to Earth and he finds out about the Superman, he knew who that was. He was like, remember, he was like telling them to come to kneel before him because it was Superman's father that imprisoned them.
That's right.
Yeah,
Inside the mirror. Yeah. Wow.
yeah, General Zod.
Yeah, I'm
Lex
excited.
Luthor is a sort of a Lucifer. He's like Lucifer. That was a play on that because the greatest criminal mind, all of these things. Lucifer, the light angel.
Yes.
Lucifer.
And he
Yeah.
also had him bald headed like Aleister Crowley. Or was it Out of Bright?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
bald-headed.
Aleister Crowley. And originally his hair was reddish. I would think, I know that's Kabbalistic, something with the Superman, because remember that S is not an S, that's a serpent.
Yes.
Ooh, I got
Yeah,
chills right now.
It.
We
I
going in
haven't
on the podcast.
really see it, but I kind of have it over here. That serpent in the S.
Right.
Yeah, they actually show it to you. It's always been there. I've been a fan since a kid. You see that little at the top, you'll see something that lets you know that's not an S.
Right.
Yeah.
Give her.
Hey, in that book that Mitch gave you on Niches of the Flame, you will find some very good information on the serpent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it right here. Issues of the Flame. Holding it up, AD.
Almost like your song, Initiates of the Fire, guy.
All right. No doubt, it mates. Yeah. Right. Indeed. Oh, this is heavy, man. This is heavy. Yo, bitch, I told you it's gonna be crazy today.
I love it.
We got all the cultic classics, and Doctor Strange is one of my favorite.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is really.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is it.
Grew up on. I love Steve Ditko. Created the Doctor Strange, and Steve was difficult to get along with, and he kind of was a bit of a loner. And I wrote to his partner, and I asked, before he died, can I interview Steve? And she wrote back. He wrote back something to the effect of, "No, Steve cannot possibly talk to you." And so
Right.
we've been insulted by Steve. It's kind of like, yes, it's I can check that box.
Wow, that's crazy. So, what was the death? How did he die? How did they say that Manly P. Hall died?
Well, the official cause is listed as heart failure, and he definitely was. He was morbidly overweight, He was advanced in years. I mean, this is age 90 at this point, age 89 rather, and he had sores on his body. I think. I think, you could say it was heart failure, yes, but heart failure is what we say when, someone's heart stopped and we don't know how else to, quite classify it. But
Mm.
I think that I think that the con artists who sought to control Manly, I think they isolated him. I think they failed to get him proper medical care. I think they took advantage of him financially. I think they psychologically abused him. So there's a piece of paper somewhere that says heart failure, but there were a lot of factors that went into it. And there he
Yeah.
was, young.
I think they left him outside also. Like he was going on a trip and
That's
they
right.
couldn't make the trip. And so they turned around to take him back home. I think the neighbors noticed it. And if he had died, they left. He wasn't declared dead right then. They put him outside in the back, I think. And that's hence where the ants would have gotten to his body.
Mm.
That's it.
Manly believed like if he was, I remember hearing a lecture where he said that if you were really wise and you lived a good life, you didn't just die. He said most of the wisest ones of the world, they died in their sleep. You would just pass on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
That's incredible.
yeah, these guys who had control over him did not report his death for hours. And that was a cause of suspicion as well, because some people said they were hiding evidence. They said, "Oh no, we were doing rituals." But that was just another wrinkle, that made people suspicious.
Mm.
Wow.
Hey, Mitch, one more question. I'm sorry.
No, no.
Manly wrote The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, which is an excellent book.
Yeah.
He wrote this book before he had actually been initiated. I think he was initiated either in San Diego or San Francisco. But the information in it was so profound. But I heard that he wasn't actually initiated into masonry until after the fact, like years after that, like maybe the
That's
1950s. Is that
that's
true?
exactly right. I think Manley joined Freemasonry. I believe it was 1958. I might be
Okay.
getting that date wrong, but it
Nah,
was
you're
around.
right. Yep.
And so he became a Mason after writing Lost Keys of Freemasonry. A little bit later in life, he became a 33rd degree honorary Mason towards the end of his life. That was around 1989. One of the very last speeches Manley gave was to a Masonic gathering. So he came to Masonry in middle age. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm.
So glad that you brought that up. So let me ask you this. In Manley's last speech, he warned America. He likened America to like a 21-year-old of coming of
Yeah.
age. And he talked about wars and he actually spoke directly to the Masonic Lodge. And he said that, you may have to stand up for truth with these wars and everything that's going to come, and you might have to be prepared to take a beating. And I've watched that, listened to that lecture many times, and he's almost implying that there will be something that would happen at some point in America that would possibly collapse America. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that's right on. That's exactly right. And um, I think there's a lot of rumor, a lot of speculation, a lot of unfounded statements, negative statements about Freemasonry. There was a reason Manly Hall joined Freemasonry. I am not a Mason, but I am a friend of Masonry. I write and speak a lot about Masonry. I do believe that Freemasonry has helped protect the individual search for meaning. And I think Freemasonry has a very, very important role to play in the 21st century in this country, um, ensuring the protection of the search for meaning, what we're doing right now. And I have a lecture about that, um, on YouTube called The Masonic Moment, delivered at a Freemasonic
Check
hall.
that out. Okay.
And I do believe that Freemasonry, and this was Manley's point of view, and I share this point of view. I do believe that Freemasonry, in its most pristine form, and there are esoteric pockets of Freemasonry all around this country, serve to preserve some of the esoteric or occultic teachings from the Renaissance that were in danger of getting wiped out. And and I think Masonry has been a vessel for that. And I think Masonry has served at certain key moments in American history to protect the search. I want to say this. I talk about this in the lecture, and I feel it's important that people should know about this. I feel it's important that kids should know about this. Um, there is a Black Freemasonic order in our nation called Prince Hall Masonry. Prince Hall Masonry goes back to the colonial era of this nation. It's named after its first Grand Master, Prince Hall, who was a freed black man who lived in Boston. He was a leather worker. Now, it was originally called African Lodge Number One. African Lodge Number One was chartered in 1788. Now, I beg your pardon, 1778. Now, Prince Hall's signature appears on petitions against slavery in the colonies in 1777 and 1778, the years of African Lodge's founding. So dig this. I want to say this very clearly. The first black-led abolitionist movement in this nation um, was Freemasonic in nature. And
Really?
kids should know that. Kids should know that.
Really? Wow. Is that anywhere linked to they were saying that Prince Hall had the first actual charter from England, and it was sent to them to Boston, and this is what the Boston Tea Party was about. They were attempting to find that charter to destroy it
Oh,
because it was legit. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not heard that. There are controversies around Prince Hall's charter. Is it legit? Is it not legit? Is it real? Is it renegade? But to my mind, it doesn't matter because who has a charter on truth? Who has a charter on the search? You know, Prince Hall and 30 of his colleagues, all black men, wanted to join Masonry. Masonry was segregated. So they founded their own Masonic lodge, which has endured to this day and is growing closer and closer to what we might call traditional Masonry. And that was a force in this country early on. And I honor Prince Hall, and I love Prince Hall, and I think kids should be aware that this first black-led abolitionist movement was under the charter of African Lodge Number One.
So I'll have to look into that. Do you think that I know a lot of Black Freemasons who will not study Albert Pike because they were told that Albert Pike worshiped the devil because of the word Lucifer. And I believe that that was propaganda, not that Lucifer was necessarily a bad thing, but when you have miseducated a people about what Lucifer is, and that kind of keeps you away from ever looking at that. But Albert Pike did so much for Freemasonry to not study that. It's like, it's to love R&B but not know who Michael Jackson is. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I want to say this, and I write about this in detail in my book, Modern Occultism, which came out in 2023. And I promise you, Pike did not worship Lucifer. That is a misunderstanding based on a variety of statements he was making in his book, Morals and Dogma, that got taken out of context. And I work through it in my book, Modern Occultism, and I can vow to you that is not the case. Um, I believe the search should be very broad and very wild and very free. And I'm not condemning anybody for worshiping anything, because as Cain had his own point of view, we all have our own point of view. But that was not the case with Albert Pike. If people are concerned about Albert Pike's past, what they might be concerned about is that he was also a general in the Confederate Army. But in our culture,
General
we
Pike.
have things like that, and we say, let's talk about Lucifer. But those are facts. And I'm not a huge admirer of Albert Pike. I think I don't fully share Manley's admiration for Pike, but I understand it and I read it and I respect it, and I read Pike, and I think people should read Pike. And I promise you, if you go to modern occultism, I tell the truth and I give the sources.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is incredible, man. What a moment. Are you nah, this is a moment right here. Just light it up, man. Somebody asked, where does Ron Hubbard come within the equation?
Nothing but trouble. Whenever there's trouble, that's when he comes. I read about Hubbard a bit in Modern Occultism. There was a Los Angeles-based occultist who probably a number of viewers have heard of, Jack Parsons. And Jack was a rocket scientist. He was a brilliant occultist. He was a protege of Aleister Crowley. And Jack was a very trusting person. And he made a mistake. And his mistake was that after L. Ron Hubbard got out of the Navy and was a demobilized naval officer, Jack took him in at his house in Pasadena. And they did do some magical workings and some magical activities together. This was in the late 1940s. And Aleister Crowley was disgusted with this whole thing, because even though Crowley at that time was elderly and was living outside London, he, through letters, knew that there was something off with Hubbard. He didn't like him immediately. And Crowley wrote to a colleague of his, Carl Germer, and he said, I'm fairly getting sick with these goats, falling all over one another. This Hubbard is a troublemaker, and Jack is misplacing his trust. And Hubbard wound up making off with Jack's girlfriend, lots of money, Miami. Exactly what you want in a house guest. And so Jack really suffered for trusting Hubbard. And Hubbard later wrote his own weird version of it. He said he was working for the FBI and he was uncovering occult cells in America. It's like, yeah. The simple story is very much more likely the true story. As is usual.
I would have to say this. I don't know. I separate Dianetics from Scientology.
Yes,
but
I agree.
There's a documentary called The History of Clearing. And L. Ron Hubbard doesn't really take credit for any of the information. He said he got it from the East, and it's from 50,000 years of thinking man. That was one of the things that intrigued me about it. But if you attempt to go look at, usually I've seen people try to go to find something on it. If you go to the first book, his first book on Dianetics, it's like the House of Mirrors. It's designed almost like you'd be like, this is it. But I read other books on the side of that, like just kind of removing the theology of what they say science, and just looked at auditing, and I didn't find anything wrong with that. I mean, It's a technique. It's dealing with the subconscious mind. I found that to be true. He didn't claim that it was his. He said it was 50,000 years of thinking man. But I do think this. I think that governments kill people sometimes for things like that, for attempting to free the mind. So let's say Scientology has gotten a bad rep. I wouldn't know if they put people in there. It has a bad rep. It's in it, and I've seen where there were things that were done. But you'll see that they'll destroy an organization they'll put people in there, and those people actually do that, so no one ever looks. Almost like looking at Albert Pike. I could understand why someone would tell Black Masons not that Albert Pike was studying, whether you see Lucifer as Satan or bad, but they, to tell them to do that, that he did that, and they will never look into that, which they're robbing themselves of something. And it will be the same thing. If anybody looking into Scientology, I would say look at what the Dianetic side of it is, not the theology. It's not necessary. It's just a technique.
I think that's great. I'm really glad you made that point, because
Yes.
I have nothing against the religious ideas of Scientology. I have nothing against Dianetics for sure, and I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying to make that distinction, because I wanna. I mean, this may sound like a strange statement. I'm probably on some bad list somewhere, because I've criticized Hubbard. Um, I'm very happy to talk to anybody about their religious beliefs, including Scientologists. I have nothing against a system, a philosophy, an outlook. Nothing. I just want. I just want there to be conduct that matches that outlook. And we all fail in that regard. Every religion fails in that regard.
Right.
So historically, I do not admire Hubbard as a man, but
Right.
I respect ideas, and I will never shut down an idea.
Right, I agree with you. They always said, I think Karras once said that if you don't know the history of the author, you don't really know what you're reading. And and I've listened to L. Ron Hubbard, and I could see that. I could find that the man who invented the thermostat was a Klansman, but it's still keeping the house warm. You know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
technique, you
Yeah.
have to separate that. But
It's necessary
I agree.
sometimes. Yeah. We used to say, separate the message from the messenger. And, it's not always easy because the two get intermingled, but sometimes one has to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got Carl Jung, a couple of cats that were out there. Carl Jung and a host of them, man. This has been incredible, man. The questions, answers, everything is it's right on point, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
you've
for
been on it.
answering my questions, Mitch. Appreciate it.
It's an honor. It's an honor, and I appreciate it. I appreciate us all being able to exchange.
That's right. I'm gonna let you go in a few, man, but I just want to know, Kabbalion, the Kabbalah without tears.
Yeah,
Explain. Would you like to expound on that a little bit?
absolutely. The Kabbalion is an early 20th century book. It was written in 1908. It's attributed to three initiates. The three initiates were a man named William Walker Atkinson. A lot of drama around the book, a lot of controversy around the book. I'll say this, I have this chapter in Practical Magic, the Kabbalion without tears. I like to sort of strip away the controversy and get down to it. The Kabbalion, AD was quoting it earlier. It's a very, very good psychological distillation of certain Hermetic ideas, certain Greek, Egyptian ideas. And there's all kinds of drama and controversy around the book. People like getting angry at the book. It's not real. It's not authentic. It's not the real thing. Nothing is the real thing. We as a human community have been cutting and pasting together different religions since there have been religions. The Kabbalion is a modern book published in 1908 that explores psychological dimensions of Hermetic ideas. I do believe that within Hermetic ideas, we do find some of the ancient primeval wisdom from Mother Egypt. I love the book. I defend the book. It's a modern work. It has its flaws, but it is a very worthy book, very worthy book. One of my mentors, he's now dead, philosopher, religious scholar named Jacob Needleman. Many years ago, when I thought I was some sort of a wise guy, I made some crack about the Kabbalion. And he said to me, he got a little gleam in his eye, and he said, there are some good ideas in that little book. And I went back to it one summer, read it 5 times in a row. And there are some good ideas in that book.
Man, I remember, I think Farrakhan went to Scientology at one point.
He may have experimented with that. And you'll find the Kabbalion a lot of places. Miri Baraka, who some people remember, who I used to know at Stony Brook University, very liked the Kabbalion.
Man, this is heavy. I'm looking for a certain name. Oh man, this is incredible. Man, all right, Mitch, man. Do you have any more time? I mean, I know you got to get ready to go.
Oh, no,
It's
I'm
been
here,
great.
man.
Yeah,
I'm not pressed for time, so I'm
yeah,
at your disposal.
yeah. I can't, man. I can't, man. You, boy, his brother is.
Hey, Mistress, you got time? What did Manley say on UFOs? I've seen certain statements he made, but do you have anything that comes to mind that how did he speak to that?
He thought that they might have been thought projections. He was concerned about some things in popular culture, UFOs, horror movies, being projections of our thoughts, thought forms, egregores, term that comes out of um, ancient Hellenic practice, tulpas, term that comes out of Tibetan practice, thought forms, things that we project. He felt that UFOs could be that. My take on UFOs is that, we're all looking for a magic bullet. It's one thing, it's another thing. Could be a lot of different things playing out. Could be secret weapons, could be drones, could be ET, could be extra dimensional, could be thought form. I mean, it's a weird phenomenon because there's a slender percentage of UFO encounters that really do withstand all kinds of scrutiny. And I'm going to write more about that in a future book called Multiverse. I think there's a lot of different elements, feeding into the UFO phenomena.
Oh, okay, wow. So let me quote Manley on something. Tell me, see what you think of this. So as he went, yeah, I remember the thought forms part of it, right? Manley also said that he said that one of the issues with why this could seem like such a phenomenon is that people believe that this is the highest level of civilization that we've ever been on the planet, and that if you believe that, then seeing something in the sky flying would kind of be confusing. He
Yeah.
said that if it is actually something, he said, how do we not know that's not us? And he wasn't speaking metaphorically like something from the past. He's insinuating that this was not with the Wright brothers. This was not the first time we flew. If you look in the secret teachings of all ages, I think it's either the first chapter or the second chapter on the initiations of the pyramids. In that picture, if you look in the air, you see like these flying contraptions. Manley, from his lectures, he seemed like he prescribed to that Atlantis was real and that the technology was a high level of technology, and so it would not be far fetched to think that maybe this technology is still on the planet. It's just hidden. Is that possible?
Your secret teachings. I mean, that's exactly what's in that image and what's in that chapter. Manley took the Atlantean thesis very seriously. And I write about that in Modern Occultism. I write about that in some other places. There's major unresolved evidence that does suggest that ancient Egypt belongs to a much older timeline than what we understand. And that is evidence that has not been treated properly in my lifetime, certainly, and it is there, and it is legitimate, and I'm fascinated with that suggestion that when we look in the sky and see something we don't recognize, maybe that is us. Maybe that's from the distant past. Maybe that's from the distant future. I was just talking about how linear time, straight arrow time, it's an illusion. It seems very convincing, and we need it. We need it. But it's not the ultimate truth. We know that time bends, so I can't possibly rule out that the UFO phenomena in part might reflect some of that, might reflect a kind of what I sometimes call like a time collapse. And I do think that this occurs. And I think that we have I mean, I won't go into this in any detail, but we have laboratory studies that show ESP, precognition, retrocausality, actions that I take in the future affecting the so-called present. And the reason that we're getting numbers on these things is because time does bend. We live in a much more free-flowing, abstract world than we have come to believe. And I think UFOs may feed into that. So I'm really, really glad you brought that point up.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yep. Um, something. One another question. Manley said he was doing a lecture and he said that I don't know if have you ever seen one of the original seals for the dollar for the United States? I think it's for the dollar bill,
Oh, yeah.
and it's you can probably find it in a Google image, but it's very rare. And what it
Find
is
that,
is
AD.
it looks like Moses, right, with the leading the children of Israel out of Egypt, if you will.
Yeah.
And then you look up in the sky and you see something.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first, one of the seals that was first submitted. They had it, but they changed it up for the Phoenix. Also in alignment with the unknown man in American history that Manley speaks about,
Boom.
who helped with the Declaration of
Yeah.
Independence. This unknown man who helped to design the United States flag. This man who was a vegetarian. He had
Yeah.
all of these occult books. They called him the professor. Are you aware of that?
Oh yeah, for sure,
Damn.
for sure. And then there's this unknown speaker supposedly at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and it was this stuff. It was this
Yes.
stuff that Ronald Reagan clipped and put into his speeches.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, there was, I think this was 1988. Yeah, it was the centenary of the Statue of Liberty. And there's Reagan on network television on Friday night giving a speech in front of the Statue of Liberty. And he is repeating some of this, what we were just, you and I were just exchanging about. And everybody's just like, where do you get this? I don't know. I don't know where he got it. He got it from Manly Hall. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, Manley, and I'm wondering where Manley got it because it's very rare.
yeah,
But Manley talked about the ADEP tradition. He has a series on the ADEP traditions where
right.
all of these masters of other and different religions. Blavatsky, how she got her information was supposedly from these masters, right? These were men, and so Manley said that uh, there were many, the spiritual hierarchy, but they were real men who had been on this planet and that have evolved, and that one of those were like Saint Germain, and also this mysterious man who they call the professor,
Yeah,
who was a
yeah,
vegetarian. Like, this was very weird, and I think that was the same person. They said the doors was locked inside when they were trying to decide
right.
on the document, and then all of a sudden the doors were open.
Yeah,
This mysterious man goes and he speaks and he lays it out, and then all of a sudden he's gone.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he said in the ADEP traditions, and forget which book, he said that this is actually why you won't know the names, is this is intentionally hidden. Their names are hidden throughout the history. You will see these little things that happen. Someone looking for the last little bit of knowledge they need for the alchemical formula, like when you watch The Day the Earth Stood Still, when Keanu Reeves goes up and finished working out that math problem for the physicist. He
Mhm.
said these were the things, and this is how these things move forward. So
Yeah, that's in some of the material that you're referencing is in Secret Destiny of America, Manley's book, and there's a sliver of it towards the end of Secret Teachings of All Ages. He talks about the unknown speaker at the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
yeah,
And it's funny, I started to put all this together years ago. I think it was 2010. I was on a radio talk show in New Orleans. And after the show, the host said to me, "By the way, did you know that Reagan believed in these hidden masters of destiny, these hidden adepts?" And I said, "No, that never occurred to me." And he sent me a copy of an article, a little article that Reagan wrote for Parade magazine on what the 4th of July means to him. And in Parade magazine, this was 1984, Reagan retells the story of this unknown speaker. And I read it and I said, that's Manly P. Hall. That's Manly P. Hall. And you start to see that there really
Wow.
is an occult history. It's
Wow.
as real as the words we're speaking.
Wow. I think I heard that Reagan did have a copy of the Secret Teachings of All Ages. It would seem no brainer to have that, right?
I think it's very possible. I know he must have had a copy of Secret Destiny of America because the passages that Reagan used come right out of Secret Destiny. And I match it up, in terms of phrasing. I mean, there's no mistaking it. So it is absolutely for sure. And then, of course, there's a very real possibility, and I believe it is the case that Reagan and Manly Hall met. Um, and I read about this in various places, and I think it's dead to rights. Yeah.
Amazing. Manley also mentioned that capstone, that the capstone on the dollar bill that's unfinished, that it will
Yeah.
during the Roosevelt presidency. What are your thoughts on that? What was that?
Well,
What was the
tell you something that is so interesting. Okay, today we have on the back of our dollar bill the mysterious iron pyramid. The pyramid with the eye floating above it. There's the Latin slogan that
yeah,
surrounds it: "Annuit septos noos ordo seclorum." Providence smiles on our new order of the ages. I got a tattoo of it over here. I got a tattoo of something. Got a tattoo of everything somewhere. Anyway, that is the reverse of the Great Seal, which you were talking about earlier. That image, which is so familiar to us, the eye in the pyramid, that didn't appear on the dollar bill until 1935. It was put there by Franklin Roosevelt, a Freemason, his Secretary of Agriculture, Henry Wallace, a Freemason. Henry Wallace later became his second vice president. Two Freemasons. They put that image of the Iron Pyramid on the back of the dollar bill, and records exist in the U.S. Treasury Department. You can find them online that Roosevelt personally supervised the design so that the Iron Pyramid appears on the left-hand side of the bill, my left. And that's how we read. So we think of the left hand as, that's where you begin. So we see it as the primary symbol of the Republic more than the more familiar American eagle. And that was by Roosevelt's hand. And and he was
Sorry.
amazing. And it ties into everything I believe that you've been describing. It's real.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
real. It's real. I try to do the homework so that the references are there so that we go beyond, speculation or supposition. And it's
right.
like, this is the story.
So Mitch, are you going to be able to tell me and Killah Priest audience what orders have you been initiated into?
Oh, I'm not really much of a joiner myself. I've been kicked out of orders. I have a long list of groups I've been kicked out of. I dedicated uh, some years of my life to studying the ideas of G.I. Gurdjieff. I'm very dedicated to those ideas. I spent
Oh,
about
well,
eight
I
years.
love him.
Yeah.
Meetings with remarkable men. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Um, I don't really belong to anything. Um, there's an organization called the Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach that promotes the teachings of Christian mystic Edgar Cayce. I was kicked out of that organization because I was considered unclean and too radical in my beliefs. Um, I have been a member of the Theosophical Society. I'm not so sure right now. I have never been a Freemason. Um, and you know, I kind of go it by myself. I don't really
Really?
belong to any initiatory orders.
What
Well,
about a Kabbalist? No,
I study Kabbalah. I study
but
Kabbalah.
never been initiated into any Kabbalistic
No,
order.
no, there's no. When I was a kid, I grew up in a traditional Jewish household in the borough of Queens in New York City, and I did have an Orthodox bar mitzvah, and I was very, very interested in the occult folds of Judaism, which I still am. There's a lot there, but no, I was never initiated or never part of any Kabbalistic tradition specifically. I'm more of a lone seeker. I go my own way.
but
It's like
nowadays, isn't it easier nowadays because we have access to the internet now, and there's so much information that you can get. You almost don't even need to be joining any kind of a order as long as you do the right research, read the right books. Because back in the day, it was all about accessing that knowledge,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
joining these things. But now we're living in a time now where you can just get this information. You'd be surprised what you can get
hey,
just from Chat GPT.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that
Ancient
sounds
Wisdom
good, but that's
forever.
ceremonial, right? That's
Mm,
ceremonial. Most people will say that that's exactly what it wouldn't be because you would still need to be able to receive that through the heart. It's just ritual is just ritual, right?
mm.
It's ceremony. But to truly receive that through the heart, those who actually know what it is would be like, that's great that you said that because you would believe that you had something that in fact you did not. Like it's
Yeah,
not just going to be an information based thing. People died, gave up their lives for that secret, so
that's
called
right.
secret. Even what we call it's so that's so exoteric now was one time esoteric. It just depends.
Yes. I asked Jacob Needleman, who was somewhat of a teacher to me, somewhat of a mentor to me. He's now dead. I asked him, where are the great teachers today? Where are the Gurdjieffs? Where are the Madame Blavatskys? Where are the Manly P. Halls? And he said to me, and this was years ago, he said, I think we no longer live in an age of great teachers, but today we have the group. We have the group, and that's a very central part of the Gurdjieff work. Now, that was some years ago, and nowadays, my feeling is, well, we may be even exiting the era of the group. We have experiment. We have personal experiment. So that's what I encourage. I encourage people to verify things for themselves through personal experiment.
So I agree with that. If Manley said he has a book called Ancient, What the Ancient Wisdom Expects of Its Disciples.
Yeah.
And basically, he walks through things because I think people become a little bit overzealous or overestimating stuff. It took years. Like, for instance, Pythagoras required to go to his school 5 years of silence.
Hmm.
All right. To even be able to enter his school, you had to be silent for 5 years. He said, let no man uh, ignorance of mathematics enter here, just to be able to be quiet for 5 years. So Manley said in the ancient wisdom, what it expects. He said that if it's really true, and the modern seeker, ancient wisdom in modern times, he said that it finds you. You know,
I do believe that's true. I do believe that's true. There's an expression when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I would also say when the teacher is ready, the student appears. The teacher has to be worthy of the student. And yeah, and you made a very important point. Things that we read today, ancient wisdom, translations of great ideas, insights. People died for these things. People died for these things. Part of the reason why people formed into secret societies, whether it was Freemasonry or Illuminati or Rosicrucians or what have you. I'm not always sure Rosicrucians was an actual order so much as a thought movement, but regardless, the secrecy was for self-protection. We're spoiled in our era.
there.
Our problems are small, compared to what our brothers and sisters knew, centuries prior, where for having this very conversation, you could be jailed and you could still be jailed in parts of the world. So that this wisdom that we avail ourselves of, it should always be approached with great respect and veneration because people did die so that these ideas could reach us.
Absolutely.
You spoke about Saint Germain. Like I was researching the count of Saint Germain a long time ago because he was like said to have lived over 300 years old.
Mhm.
You heard
Yeah.
about that? And like, I guess he was there during the Declaration of Independence. Apparently, like you guys talked about that earlier. But
Well, there
he,
are lines of belief for that about that. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
he also, and I see how it continues on. Was on a plant-based kind of diet. Like he ate meat, but it wasn't a lot. But I'm seeing that continuing on because I study like nutrition a lot. And the more I study about nutrition, especially from these gurus, is I find out, you really don't need as much protein as they talk about. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
because it's a whole industry to sell protein and stuff like that, and the overhype of meat and everything. And but he also, besides that, would have like an egg with oatmeal. Apparently, he had the ability to live longer because he had rejuvenation elixirs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I guess the elixirs had like gold, wine, herbs, and some type of spiritual energy. Anyway, I know it's popular in a lot of the occult secret societies to look into living longer, or not like living forever, but just living to like 300 years old, because how it's been said about in like Egyptian times too, how some of the ascended masters would live well beyond 80 years old, 100 years old, like we do today. You know what I mean? So that's some kind of secret knowledge that I would like to look into more too. You know what I mean? Is like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will say this, and I think this dovetails with exactly what you're saying. One time, a student of Gurdjieff's went to him and he said, I feel depressed. I just don't know how to lift it. And Gurdjieff said, every meal that you sit down to, leave a little over. Stop before you're full. Stop before you're full. It's a tonic, for mood. And it sounds simple, of course. It's more difficult in practice than it sounds in words. But
yeah.
I think it dovetails with what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess the Japanese also would eat until they're 80% full and stuff like that. So I understand that because we see the benefits of fasting and cleansing yourself, and if you fast for a certain while, your body starts creating these enzymes that rejuvenate you to a point to where it how the body can adapt. You can like go a good while with fasting and cleansing and all that stuff like that. So I was just curious about what Saint Germain in particular was doing.
Hey,
Well, it's very esoteric, because you have these different beliefs and teachings. Some of them are modern,
Mhm.
about Saint Germain. There was a real Saint Germain, of course. The name comes from a Parisian saint who aided the poor in Paris in the 900s, 900 AD.
Mhm.
Uh, but since that time, the name Saint Germain has come to refer to a figure like the one you've been describing. Um, and Saint Germain was mentioned certainly by Annie Besant, Madame Blavatsky's protege.
Mm.
I think Madame Blavatsky mentioned him as well. And then there's other teachings that came later that talk about Saint Germain and aspects of his life. Manley writes about him in Secret Teachings. It's hard to know because it's all esoteric history transmuted from the mouth of the teacher to the ear to the
yeah.
student. It's oral history.
Also, I think that AD, if you're looking for something on Saint Germain,
Mhm.
I love Manly like this because it doesn't seem like he's extra about stuff.
Mm.
So he has a book called The Phoenix, and in that book, The Phoenix, he has Blavatsky's in there. I think he has something on Gandhi, Albert Pike, and he has Saint Germain. He really admired Saint Germain, so you should check
Mm.
that out. But Saint Germain's life, when you're reading it, you have to think about it like there are interpolations of other initiates. It's not, you could be seeing the stories of different people. That I heard that very well that could have been Saint Germain. He had the elixir of life, the alchemical elixir of life, but also if you looked into Islam, the green one, Al Qador, that's where Green Lantern,
Mm.
the green one, Al Qador is his name.
Mm,
That
mm.
he's still alive, that he prays at every mosque and temple, and you will see these same manly.
Yeah. Yeah, you went to the esoteric realms, dropping knowledge, yo, dropping knowledge. Harvey, man, it's I love it.
Speaks of that tradition is you. That's that thing. That's that thing again. You think Stan Lee was just sitting up in there coming up with stuff? Uh, nah,
Right.
nope,
He was
nope,
downloading,
nope.
crown loading.
Yep.
That's right.
I'm trying to get that elixir. But I'll tell you what, I lowered my protein a little bit because, you know, I'd be tracking my macros and stuff like that. I feel good, man. I feel good. I just lowered my protein a little bit more. It's starting to be a popular thing on YouTube now. Like, yeah, raise your carbs, lower your protein a little bit. It's like, it's interesting. But, I mean, I have a lot of vegetarian friends, too, so I don't knock the diet at all. But I just like looking into these different types of methods of longevity.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
one method that everybody seems to agree on is a reduced caloric intake.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to eat like the Japanese.
Yeah. Oh, it's very healthy. I've lost a fair amount of weight and I've eaten less. I'm trying to. I eat everything. I'm an omnivore, but I used to be a vegetarian, but it wasn't working for me health-wise. I eat everything, but my key is I try to stop eating before I'm full.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did any of these esoteric people or Freemasons go into coffee and tea? I'm assuming it was a lot of tea, right? I'm just curious on the
Hey, Mitch, can I ask that something to AD?
Go ahead.
AD.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is what's interesting. This is a running joke, and I usually don't tell me and Priest's personal conversations. You might be in the presence of Saint Germain now. If you've recorded Killah Priest, I have yet to meet Killah Priest. That guy sitting right there is Walter, right?
Yeah.
You notice that the artist who's in the booth, who is writing all that magnificent stuff, that doesn't seem to be the person that you're talking to back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Miami at a concert talking to Cannabis. And Cannabis, you know, he found out that me and Priest was friends for years. And he was like, yo, he's the greatest. And I was like, really, why? And he said, well, I've been in the studio with him, right? And they would be writing or whatever. And then he goes in the booth and what he says is nothing that was written on the paper. And he said, and Cannabis is a big fan of Saint Germain also, so you know.
Wow.
Very big of Saint Germain, because his name is Germain.
Yes.
And his mother used to teach him about Saint Germain. He would go up into Mount Shasta looking, he said, because some of the myth is that Saint Germain is in Mount Shasta, which supposedly has some of the remnants of Lemuria and things like that. But everybody talks about Walter Reed, Killah Priest, being that they said there's none that is so blind as those who have eyes and will not see. You might be sitting in the presence of Saint Germain now and don't even know it.
Yo, you're right.
Man.
You're right. Like the essence of him. Yo, I've seen Priest write, man, and Priest kind of just. I don't want to disturb him when he's writing, but I'll just say this: he's fast. I don't know where.
Well, let me tell you something else. Let me tell you what's something for his listeners. I'm not one of his fans. Me and him, when we first met on 6th Street in Austin, the question I asked him is why we became friends. I won't get into the question, but I was like, yeah, I don't care about all that. I want to know what you know. And we had a conversation and we've been friends ever since. But here's the deal. If you've ever seen Priest, right, he sent me a video of him at Fourth Disciples' house. And I said, finally, I'm gonna get his ass now. I'm gonna see, because very seldom I'm gonna find a rapper that know more about a subject matter than me. So, but Killah Priest, the stuff, I can't even trace it sometimes. So I noticed he was writing, and I looked around, but there were no books. See, when Nas writes, Nas has books all around him. That's why his rhymes are fragmented. I was like, yeah, I know Priest. I know Walter. His memory ain't that good. How is he able to write on that and there are no references around? Now, here's to go back to what I said about Madame Blavatsky. And I would ask him, I just saw him, like a month or two ago in Austin. We're hanging out. And it's just like, I said, man, I would love to meet Priest one day. I've been around him when he was interviewing. You can't find an interview where you're actually talking to the artist, that being that's writing those lyrics. And y'all ain't never had him on. He's never been on the podcast. Maybe his son knows, but I ain't never met him. I met Walter.
That's funny. That's real.
Man, Priest.
You notice he still ain't said nothing right, like yeah. They said that Manley said that the initiates, there are people that are born who are of that bloodline that until it's time for their mission, they don't even know it. Their memory is blocked from that. You know, it's interesting that Priest is who he is, right? But if he had not fallen asleep in that studio and Master Killah got in the booth, the trajectory of his career and how he write would have probably been different. He might not have been able to move like he was under the first 9, right? So him being on his own, I think I met him during the Black August album. It like freed him to be able to do all the things he wrote. Because if you look at all of his albums that I can't keep up with now, you will gradually see the difference, right? And then ask yourself this. I think he has 2 songs with Nas. Nas don't do music with everybody. At what level must you be able to write, or what a writer could see that they would do a song with you? It wasn't like Priest was all over the radio, but Nas was on it.
Yeah.
And this a little don't say. I know Hakeim didn't want to get on the track with him. I'm not supposed to be telling that kind of stuff, but I heard a verse that Hakeim was supposed to be on, and I was like, I don't think that would be a good idea for Hakeim to get on this.
Man,
not the way Priest did it. And the person who is letting me listen is Walter, and he's humble. It's like, you think this is good? Yeah. So, hopefully I get to meet Priest this year.
Me too. The great Hakeim Supreme. Man, this is beautiful. I love the knowledge. Man, it's so much to unravel. Man, I hope y'all that's home is getting a big treat right here. Me and Hakeim, we go way back, like he said. I see you in the building, Crip Jesus. Shout out to the Blue Tang. Blue Tang, I think you dropping an album. I think you're gonna let us know about that. Blue Tang in the building. And Mitch Horowitz, man, this is a treat. I just wanted to hear y'all too, because I already knew. These we all manly PR-ites. You call it?
Right.
Yeah, MPHs. Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, that's great, man. Shout out to the great, also John Newsom. Shout out to him too.
Just thinking that you read my mind.
Yeah, exactly. John Newsom, man, your artwork is incredible, and we love it, and we enjoy the music. Yeah, we got to build some more, man. This is crazy. Next time, let's do a part 3 again.
And bring John on. He didn't want to come on, but
John didn't want yet. I
wanted John to come on.
He's also humble, man. He's incredible, brother, right there. His art is crazy. I love the jaguars, man, and the animals that he's seen. It very inspiring. So, Crip Jesus in the building. What's good, my brother? Yeah, coming through. Yeah, yo, with that, man. Yo, what's good? What's good, Crip Jesus? Oh, you were all red today. Oh, the blood of Christ. Wow.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to come with that crimson. Hold on. Oh yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
Oh right.
The top builder on.
Exactly.
Peace to Manly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm the 40th degree. You ever heard about that? The 40th degree. Yeah.
It's incredible.
How you degrees?
Yeah. How you felt about the build today?
Man, I'm over here zoned out. You see, I put my thing on.
Yeah, I see.
I ain't putting it up. I'm over here floating in the air listening to y'all. I'm like, whoo.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to hop in there because my grandfather is a Shriner, and he could only tell me certain stuff. Yeah, he could only tell me certain stuff. So when he passed away, I noticed when I went to the viewing to see his body, there was no crosses. My family, we're just believing, hardcore Christian. Right. So I don't see no crosses. I see all these Egyptian eyes when they did the actual proceeding, the actual funeral, right? I noticed all these black men showed up in full black, head to toe, covered up, and they weren't Prince Hall. I was waiting to see them Prince Hall. They were AFAM. You know what I'm talking about? The 4 letters instead of 3. Yeah, so I've been wanting to get more into that. Like, well, okay, what's up with that? You know, because I know about Benjamin Banneker. I know there's a lineage with the brothers even before Prince Hall. You know what I mean? I think that's what my grandfather knew. But you know, that's another episode. But yeah, I've been over here just eating it up, taking notes, all that. Sure.
Shrining out.
Very proud lineage. That's a wonderful lineage.
Mitch Horowitz. You heard that? Oh man, that's incredible, man. I'm lost for words this time. It was so much. I mean, when I went into Kyle and the green. Oh man, okay, that blew me away. The green Lantern with the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That was. What was his name? Kazoo from Flintstones.
I remember him.
He was on another level for them in the past, but he was a small cat that was dealing with the future before you got to the Jetsons, which was like the Flintstones, right? Well, the Flintstones they were in the past, and the Jetsons was in the future. But if you look at Fred Flintstone and you look at Jetson, the head dude, that was him.
Right.
That's just the same thing in the future.
Yeah.
Jane, his wife. This is heavy, man. This is heavy.
You know,
oh man.
What caught me too was
it's a treat. Oh man, you got the orator. The building. Peace to knowledge born in the building.
And when he pointed out the green one in his place in Islam, you know, considering that the Moors were the overseers of Europe when this knowledge was administered out, you find a lot of the esoteric mysteries, higher level, you can find them translated in Arabic in Islam. Not necessarily in like the upfront religion, like, you know, the face value, but as you get deeper into Sufism in different chambers, you find the green one, you find the 2-horned one, Dul Qanan in the Quran, you find some of the earliest Masons named in the Quran. You feel what I'm saying? You find our sciences all over.
Sufi. Majestic order. It's deep. Let's all acknowledge knowledge born in the building. Let's acknowledge knowledge born in the building. Peace. Royal Priesthood. Wednesdays went down.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Peace to God.
I got my family in here. Y'all got my father, my brother, and my cousin up in here at the same time.
That's crazy.
Amen.
You know, the widow's son up in here. The meaning of civilization is where the knowledge and wisdom was first started when the planet was made. The planet is something that is made or grown from the beginning. So I'm here representing my father and the son. So shout out to the Ein Sof of hip hop, who is the father and the son, who happens to be the son and the father, with his son who is the son and the father. No man shall get to the father except by him. So do Jim.
Woo! That's it. That's an intro right there.
And honest to Mitch Horowitz, the guest tonight, who crawled to beyond the veil into the land of mysticism, who gives us the rights of Mitzrayim through the man who sparked many of our intelligence and many of our path with the secret teachings of all ages. So, you know, many of us thought our age was our age, but he gave us some adept wisdom in regards to the secret teachings of all ages, mainly Palmer Hall. So we set us right on a path, on a course of self-discovery beyond the veil that was veiled for ourselves, about ourselves. So honest to you, sir. Honest to Solo with the Gems, and honest to the Einstein of hip hop, Killah Priest, and the grand architect of the Podcraft. No father to his style, no father to his sound. The one and only architect D. Honored to be here.
Peace.
With my atomic A-alike and my brother, King El Allah, affectionately known to y'all as Crip Jesus. You understand what I'm saying?
King L. Damn. I never knew that.
That's the best roll call you can have.
Yeah, fire.
AKA Noble Drew Crip up in here.
Noble Blue Ali.
Noble
Blue Ali.
AKA Noble Drew Crip.
Noble Blue Ali.
Yeah.
Wow.
Check out how Crip Jesus was able to drop a super chat while he's on the show.
Oh man. Say no more.
Bobby Digital. High tech.
Yep, indeed.
Damn.
And shout out to the Torian mastermind, the one who paints pictures on our mind, but with every image that he gives, John Newsom, and his son Luke, the Father and the Son and the Father blessing us with this opportunity again. So honest to Mitch for the second time coming to the Podcraft, sharing your jewels and sharing your wisdom. You're very sought after in the world of the initiated and the uninitiated. So I'm glad to have you here and thankful for this opportunity to have on you as well.
I don't think I ever saw Knowledge Born and Hakeim in the same room. That's crazy. This is a special treat tonight, yo. Mitch, you brought him out. This is crazy. Wow.
We pulled up for your physical one of these years. Every one of these Black August, you put us together.
That's right. That's right. Sort of like
Hakeim Supreme, he blew my mind in smithereens 25 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's sort of like Billy Carson and Houdini. Shout out to Houdini. What's that? The cherry. Don't bring me some cherries right now. Shout out, man. I'll eat them afterwards. Yeah.
I always forget to bring them out.
Gladys Knight in the pits.
I always forget. I got some nice organic cherries. That way he could have some fruit while he's on the show. You know what I'm saying? I always forget to bring them out, so I had to bring them out right now.
Okay. Well, thanks, AD.
Yeah.
Full moon and Capricorn.
Cherry picking.
Capricorn moon.
Yeah. How many Geminis we got in the building?
Million.
Amazing.
When you see one, you see them all.
Yeah. Got it. So, Mitch, what's good, man?
I'm so glad to be here. I want to say something. We love Noble Drew Ali in this household, and my son's upstairs with a red fez in his bedroom, and I can't tell you what it means to me to be able to exchange with people who love Noble Drew. It means a lot to me.
Yo, I did not notice that was him in the famous picture with Marcus Garvey.
Isn't that amazing? Now, Marcus Garvey, there's a whole night. There's a whole night because he himself had so much of a deep connection to what we would call thought causation. And I mentioned before Neville Goddard. Now, Neville's teacher was a man named Abdullah, and it's not clear historically who Abdullah was, but one possibility, and I won't go into all these details, but one possibility is that Abdullah may have been or was influenced by a man named Arnold Josiah Ford, who was the musical director in Marcus Garvey's organization. Marcus had a mind metaphysics, absolutely, and he has not been fully recognized as a mystical figure, in addition to what he's meant socially. We could do a whole night on Marcus Garvey.
Crazy.
For real.
Crazy. Man. August 17th, right? That's his physical.
Definitely.
He's
August
recognized-
17th. Yes.
19.
He's recognized as a spiritual figure in Rastafarianism and more science temple. They consider him John the Baptist.
Yes.
Of Noble Drew Ali.
You got that pick up, maybe?
Similar as Harbinger in Rastafarianism.
Still looking.
It's a no source.
Yeah. I'll find it.
Right.
But until then, I got this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see Crip Jesus taking that picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, that's me all day. And then, did you know there's records of when Marcus Garvey got locked up, Noble Drew Ali went down to visit him. It was in the newspapers, newspaper clippings, a postcard when he wrote his wife from there. And then, if you know anything about the science, Marcus Garvey's mentor was a man named Duce Muhammad Ali, who looks just like Noble Drew Ali. You know, the fez, the same, time period. So, you know, this teaching that they had the same mission and were connected and were just ushering different points of that mission as far as the awareness of the consciousness of the so-called Negro, blacks, and colors in North America. It all adds up. It makes sense if you look at time period and what's going on.
Yes, indeed. That's it right there? Color Geechee.
You know what I mean? So it's high science.
That's fire right there.
All the way across the board. And then you see how he's dressed, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what you have to understand too is at this time period, this is before movie theaters, right? So you would go to like what would be considered like Broadway plays or exhibitions. It is written that Noble Drew Ali grew up with I don't know what I would use the word circus, you know what I mean? But like he toured, you know, with performers. It was the Middle East. Yeah. So this would be important because at that time you would actually be exposed to Arabs. If this was your way of life, you would be exposed to Arabs. You would travel. You would be even in many cases initiated. This would not be far-fetched to if you were traveling with Arabs performing in this manner to be initiated into one of their brotherhoods or sisterhoods or societies in order to further not only know the movements in the details of what they teach, but also the culture and the history behind it. It's just like joining maybe a chemistry class and they give you some history on Galileo and so on and so forth. It's no big difference. So when you look at some of these plays and exhibitions throughout the country back then, they have Arabian Nights or things, you know what I mean? Where they had exhibitions and plays and things about Moors, and you find what they believe and what even the people in the Moor Science Temple teach, that he was affiliated with these groups in these shows. You know, now it's funny because some people in today's time, you know, the Google haha I got you era, they would try to use that against him. But really, like I said, that's why I mentioned entertainment. If you know how it was back then, before the whole TV make everything fake era, back then it would, like if you were, let's say, an actor in a play about, you know, Bengali or something, the Emperor of Bengali, so you would be around Bengalians. You would learn certain parts of the language. You would do these things in order to even do that show. So it's not far-fetched at all that this was the way of a lot of our people's entrance into that type of information and culture back at those times. You know.
All right, let's show this picture of Marcus. Hey,
woo! Check him out.
Yeah, that's it, yo. That's kind of cool. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the next album, man.
Marcus got kind of sharp in there.
That's
exactly.
the mixtape. Me and you. Put me right there behind you.
Exactly.
Priest.
Yeah. Hey, see the mic right there too. Mic right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take a picture. That's supposed to be the No Source album cover. Right?
Yeah.
But it's still there. Yeah, that's legendary right there. Body hop.
No, that's me and your mixtape coming called Back to Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yo.
Yo. What's up with the album?
Yo, Blue Tang dropping at 7-Eleven tomorrow at 7:11 a.m. You know what I mean? I really sat back, God,
Right.
and did my homework, bro. I didn't know you had that many albums. This is crazy. You can't write this
Me
stuff.
either.
I've given up. You don't write. You
Me
act like
either.
you write. You're there with the pen, doodling notes down. This shit's just
Me
coming
either.
through you. You're streamlining this.
Man.
Planet of the Gods?
Yeah.
Bro, I've been listening to that every day. I still don't know what it says. It's too deep. It's scary. Hey, I was just King Anu. Hey, look, I took the visual and flipped it and put the one with me and kept. Bro, I just been. You didn't see that thing?
Shout out
You didn't
to
see that
Mick.
text that day? It had me as the top Killah Priest listener.
Yeah,
Like
I saw that.
5 times?
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was that like you've reached top Killah Priest listener like 5 times throughout the last year. Man, I've been getting my study on ever since. I said, all right, because you know, guy, I ain't one of these.
Nah,
I already know how it goes.
Nah,
guy.
you're
You know,
original. Nah.
You've been doing this podcast for a minute, so I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people come here, gain a relationship, and run off. You know what I mean? I'm affiliated. They got the symbol, but it ain't actually putting the honor in the time.
Nah, come on, you already put it down. Yo,
You know what
Flow
I
is
mean?
at-
It ain't about that, guys. It's a sonic thing.
right.
You know what I mean? So I had to really go and humble myself and do I really went and sat down with the producers. You know what I mean? Sat down with Da Vinci for 3 days. Sat down with, you know what I mean? Sat down with
How
men
was
kept
that?
right. I'm part of the Now Valley Wellness Center now. Like
Wow.
I went through a whole journey putting this shit together.
Wow. Shout out to the Nile Valley Wellness Center. Yo,
Yeah.
McKepper and the sisters out there, they got that going, man. It's a beautiful thing. They erect, ancient Kemet with healing, and it's just a beautiful thing to go through, man. Hey, Mitch, you got to go there when you come in, man.
Let me tell you
Are
something.
you coming to LA anytime soon? I'll probably be in New York before you come out here.
I'll be there anytime. Last time somebody asked me, "You're going to be in the neighborhood?" They were talking about LA. I was there in 6 weeks, so
Yeah, no doubt.
Pull up, man.
I pull up.
Valley Wellness Center.
I pull up to Sesame Street.
Oh, I'll take you to the Moore Science Temple. You'll love it.
You know the secret behind Sesame Street, right? Huh?
What's that about Sesame Street?
The secrets behind Sesame Street.
Oh, I haven't looked into it. I've heard whispers of that. Heard whispers of that.
Yeah.
I would love to
Exactly.
go to
Sesame
Moore
Street
Science.
is heavy. Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, Killer,
Come.
I'm gonna take him to the temple.
That'd be an
Over on
honor.
87th and Normandy. Oh, he'll love it.
Yeah.
That'd be an honor.
You gotta walk in backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Yo,
but
all right,
let me tell you
so
something, though.
how many songs are on the album?
Oh, I did it old school. I should have brought the picture, man. A side, B side. So it's like this.
Yeah.
The back when I print up the physical CD and the tape and all that, we're gonna have the blue tape. Don't forget the blue tape.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like it's got the hand symbol, A side, B side, 5 tracks each. You already know, skits and all that. And let me tell you something, man. You know, me and you, we so in our own worlds. Sometimes we don't keep up what's going on in the 85 world. Right now in the 85 world, with all the gossiping and the they got the hip hop like the gang stuff and all that. My area, the 40 Crips, is like the most popular area right now. So because I'm coming with this project, you got 40 Crips spitting mathematics, building on the album. Niggas, I ain't even know this. I said, what you been secret guy all this time? Well, so I see you with the killer thing, blue tank.
Wow.
Let me get on there. Peace, God. What? Oh, let me. So yeah, man. Hey, it's a beautiful thing. So
Incredible.
we got people coming out the cut from Lamert. Like, oh yeah, I be building too. They've been hitting me up. So I've been going around with the poster, the blue tank. They've been feeling. Oh, and King 7 got the blue tank tattoo with the blue and the paisley print. And all. Man, it's going down, man.
That's
it's
fine.
going down, man. We
Blue
building.
tank,
You got the Crips lit. You got the Crips lit.
That's it, man. That's it. That's what it's
lit.
Yo, let me let Mitch go right quick, cause we're gonna do a part 3, Mitch, and bring you back. Maybe we can get into some Carl Jung, get into some chaotic magic.
Carl Jung.
Yeah.
Father Divine, Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey, definitely. Yeah, I love. You said some deep stuff about Garvey. Garvey's like one of my favorite guys. Him and Noble. You know what I'm saying? So they was rolling together, and I was like, wow, that was him, right? In the passenger seat, living in the fast lane. All right.
Well, it's an honor. It's an honor.
Okay.
Nice meeting.
You can sit around, man. We're gonna go to the music right now, and while you still there, because we're gonna try to get up out of here soon. Shout out to how was it working with Little Da Vinci?
Oh man, it's all love. I think he had got a little busy back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We first was putting them all together because when I went through, we was working on the priesthood tape.
Shout out to
You know what I mean?
Nero too.
I left for like a lot of skeletons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had a couple joints ourselves, and then
Who brought Nero through?
Well, that was around the same time. So Nehru first hit me up. She was out in Europe. You know what I'm saying? And I had ran the Da Vinci at Leimert.
Right.
So that's how we all three kind of connected. When she came through, we was at Da Vinci house a couple times. She came through. You feel me?
That's the protection right there. Everybody can make sure you take care of Nero when she come through, man. You know that's the.
Oh yeah, but me and Nehru good right now. I'm supposed to be hopping on hers, the fourth chambers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got one on there called Blue Tank Ninjas.
Yeah.
Me and her going crazy.
Yeah. That's
So,
it. Shout out to Nero. Shout out to Nero. All protection for Nero, man. No doubt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody too though, shout out Da Vinci. Like I said, he just got a little busy. Life be lifing, but
Exactly.
we had knocked out a gang of them together.
No doubt. Oh, I can't wait to hear it, man. Vinci
Probably got like
crazy,
a whole
man.
nother tape worth of stuff in the cut.
Da Vinci don't be he don't be letting everybody hear it, but when you do hear it, boy, he be going in.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's a spaceship. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely a
Can't let
spaceship.
everything leak out the spaceship. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. On the best. Right. All right. So what up? Shout out to Underland Fortress. All right. So AD, let's take us to the music. Whoever
I want
around.
to tell you this though, man.
Yeah.
Me and the homie Superlope.
Yeah.
Remember
That's
fourth
L
chamber?
name super low. Yeah.
Fourth chamber.
Yeah.
40th chamber. Yeah, we made it happen, man. 40th chamber.
That's it.
It's hard. It's hard.
That's it. All right. So check it out. Let's let Mitch, you can stick around if you want to do the music. If not, man, we're gonna let you go off the podcast.
I'm stick around. I'm in a good mood. I'll sit here quietly and listen.
Okay, all right, there you go, man. I'm glad you're in a good mood. Yeah, exactly. Yo, man, you went in, man.
Music is a form of magic.
It is.
And Pythagoras said that it was originally intended to bring man closer to the divine rather than entertain. You know that?
What's that quote?
It's the intention for music to bring man closer to the divine.
Right. But it goes right into the other quote, remember? To soothe the savage beast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is also why your music is such of high value, because it does speak on divinity, and it is that deep type of music,
Medicine in it, man.
It's not fast food music like we hear in today's radio.
How you feel about Will Smith joint?
I'm not saying nothing on that. Y'all go ahead. I'm not gonna say nothing. I don't have to.
Legit. Yo, listen. When he came out with before he used to be, he was always a comedic MC, except Summertime. Summertime was always Summertime. Everybody thought Hakeim wrote that for him, but he actually wrote that. But I'm a superstar.
Superstar.
I know that I be on some other
Hey, but
shit.
you gotta give it to him for Rob. Rob, he just extra. He's just in another. I think he's mentally in another place. Yeah, because he really.
That I'm different. I be on some y'all don't understand it. I don't mention it. Made it to
Is
the
that
top
AI?
of Hollywood without a membership. Killed them in
That's not
July,
AI,
then
that's
I
him.
switched to my December shit. I be overcoming shit that y'all be having trouble with. Let them run their mouths. I mean, really, that's what come with this. They built a wall, but I'm jumping it and loving it. They want me to be done with it, but I'm still having fun with it. Writing songs, writing checks, writing history, righting wrongs, but I'm still right mentally. I go to sleep and my ancestors visit me. They surrounded me, gave me the vision vividly, gave me a lion to protect me in this industry. Now I just walk and he chew through my enemies. Feel like I'm just getting started, they tried to finish me. I'm like the universe, infinite, there's no end in me. This is the bounce back. Watch Will, y'all. This is the bounce back. Here come the bounce back. Keep your eyes on him. This is the bounce back. I know
he got caught up in early 2000s. Yeah.
But I'll give it to him. You know,
he's still MC. He's still not around.
He enunciates. He raps clearly. You know what I'm saying? He has presence. I'm just speaking on all the good parts.
I think he's just in another space.
I respect him as a clean artist. He's a Libra, so he's gonna be fluent with his words and his vocabulary. It may not be as advanced as what we're used to, but I gotta give him props. You know
Why didn't you play the part when he said superstar?
I don't know. I just played a random clip. I wasn't sure what I was clipping.
In his mind,
I'm a superstar.
Yeah. In his mind,
new car.
It's not coming out. I think, but you know what though? It's just caught up, and he's just in another time state. It's like rap to move past that, but I know where he at. He's like early 2000s.
Yeah.
He's up. I think he's still
early 90s.
Like
90s, yeah.
This
Early
is his second
90s.
album after Get Jiggy with it, right? So I think
like
that's
91.
catching up. Yeah,
Big
like
Willie
that.
style.
Yeah, Big Willie.
But Nas wrote that.
Yeah, Big Willie style.
Yeah, Nas wrote that. Just the two of us, Man in Black. Yeah, Nas wrote that.
Okay. I hear, but
Nas even
what
wrote
y'all
that.
feel, man? Let me see some fire in it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nas wrote that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
You go look
But
it
see,
up.
that's big money when you get your song in a movie.
He does. Who?
Will Smith,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He does
Oh,
movies.
he's
You
good.
gonna
That's
put that in there, but
it was good.
that right there, you could play at a like a kid's party.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
extra clean. It's
He
just
makes the bag music, but as far as trying to compete and say I'm about to come out the cut, y'all ain't ready for this. Stop it. Stop that. Don't let these people press you up, Willie, to come out here and embarrass yourself. Stick to your bag.
AD think that was hard.
It's considered Disney. I don't
It's
consider
not-
it hard.
Look. We laughing because it's corny, but I'm not even tripping about it being corny. My thing
Yeah.
is this. There's even rappers who are hardcore who you're not going to get to battle, who you're not going to get to come out. Bro, it's some of the best, some of the people we look up to, who I'm not even going to say their name, but you know what I'm talking about. Some people that's known for a pimp rap type of stuff. I don't care if they've sold 80 million records. You're not going to get him to hop on a beat like that and try to compete. You feel what I'm saying? Even Wayne is considered the best rapper alive. You've never heard Wayne battle. You're not going to give him, he doesn't rap in that type of way. He's not going to fare well with face-to-face, bar for bar. He's not that type of rapper.
He's a metaphor genius, huh?
Cassidy can
He's
rap.
a metaphor
rap
genius.
freestyle.
Yeah, man,
It's very
Cassidy-
rare
yeah,
that
Cassidy's
you meet a Killah Priest, somebody that's just perfect.
Yeah,
He
Cassidy's
just do everything. And then he
yeah,
start
like
whispering
a
to you, make you
cannabis.
float.
Yeah.
You know?
We
No doubt.
spoke about the other day how a lot of like studio rappers may not be such good battle rappers, but a lot of battle rappers they can't really put out that much studio stuff.
Yeah.
You notice
But
that?
there's a reason. There's a reason. I mean, you have no beat. You're not riding a beat. You just basically metaphors and things like that. So you want somebody to hear you.
Yeah.
So rap is what? Rhythm and poetry? So if you put all that together, flowing, like effortless flower is your man right there. Him, Crip Jesus, Donnie Arcade, they flow it effortlessly. Sitting on the track, and my man, you know, what's his name? The other Leo.
KRS One.
But KRS One, bro. You
just
know,
naming-
KRS One is in the class by itself.
Yeah.
No, he used to come to the show. What's his
He
name?
could do records and freestyle and
Yeah,
battle.
he can do. You'll never ever, unless you that R.I.P. Unless you was DMX, you don't never want to perform next to KRS One. He got too many hits. He got too many crowd control and all that. Shout out to the greats. All right, let's get to the music, man.
All right, here we go.
Thorn Promotions. You send in your music, we play it live on the show for Killah Priest and the world to hear.
All right. Let's go. Today's first submission is by an artist named Ceaseless One from Long Beach. Track is called
Ceaseless One. Oh, so I didn't know he was in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ceaseless.
Track is called Wild and Out. It's just a beat.
Go right here.
All right, hold on a second. Go ahead. Now this sounds like a Will Smith beat. Will Smith would tear this up.
Yeah.
He paid for the whole song, y'all, so get grooving.
Yeah. Cool though. I like it. It's nice. It's nice.
I'm down for minimalism. I like the simplicity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It leaves room for the lyricist to shine. It's like a breakdown right here. I already see Crip Jesus formulating words.
Sliding all over the beat, super slide. When we outside. You know what this is? It's that 9999. The 14 karat, 10 karat Lord foot down here. Oh, ready to go. You already know. Smooth and slick as oil. Ground like this.
Oh, that's it. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna let y'all speak on it first. What y'all think?
Knock the fans off my head, boy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Okay.
I was feeling it. I actually am a fan of the jazz. I like those type of beats. To me, those are the type of beats that Nas picks and Gases goes crazy over because it's simple. It's not like trying to oversell you with a bunch of loud synths and all that. To me, that's a classic rapper beat. If you really got bars.
Yeah.
This type of beat you pick when you want to show off the lyrics, and the beat's still smooth. You know what I mean?
Superstar.
Who was that again?
Ceaseless One from Long Beach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, type in Ceaseless. We might gotta do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
You like the solo?
Yeah, I can't complain about it.
Yeah.
It was cool though. I like it.
Okay. What'd you think, Mitch?
With honesty, I loved it. I like the jazz fusion. I like the minimalism. I like the trippiness. I loved it.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. I could see how he kind of created his own samples to make it sound like it was sampled, but they were like, generic. So only thing I could think of to fix it up would probably make those samples sound a little more grimier. You can add some effects to that, smash them down with some compression, make it sound like it's a record. You know what I mean? Just to give it more of an authentic feel. Because it's very clean. It's a very clean beat, which is good. But because you're making it sound like they're samples, I would probably just grime up those samples a little bit, make them sound a little dirtier, a little bit, just rough them up a little bit so that it sounds like it's coming off of a record or a vinyl, just to create some authentication. Other than that, it's cool. I'd probably raise the snare a little more, but I like a loud cracking snare,
That gets you.
But that was cool. I think it can get some work on it, but it'll be dope.
There you go.
It's a good feel. All right. Let's see. We don't have too many today.
Okay.
Let me double check. We have a God finale and we have some exclusive feature presentations. Let me hit refresh just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wait a minute. All right. We got one just came in. Checking for confirmation. No confirmation yet. So let me just go ahead with an exclusive presentation.
Hey.
From Crip Jesus.
Fire.
Let's see. I got one here called video.move. Is that a good one? Should I start with that one? CJ? I see 4 emails.
He's mute. Hey, you muted.
I have video-1.move and video.move.
Yeah, Coach Jesus, I think you muted.
710. Yeah, this is all today. You're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here soon.
Mm-hmm.
CJ, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Peace.
There you are.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
You're a little crackly, but you're there. So I got 4 emails here. Video-1 move.
Oh, damn. Okay. Let's get to it. So the one that says
Late night trap music, video.mov.
No. Okay. It's only 2 I just sent you. Them other 2 is from the other day. That's my fault.
Okay.
Okay, so the one that says that I sent that 607,
I see video.
Videos, Blue Tang.
Okay, in my email.
Yeah, that's a plain video. Play that. That's 40th chamber.
Okay,
that's just a little thing I put. I didn't want to just put the song up there, so I put a little visual thing with it.
Okay.
What's that?
So you know, 4th chamber. 4th chamber has always stood out to me, not just because the remember Killah Priest says the word Crip on there. So I know whether y'all know it or not, on the West Coast amongst the Crips, that was like the biggest thing in the world. Like, you ever heard that Wu-Tang song where he say Crip? Like, hell no, let me see that. What? So Killah Priest has always been a legend out here for that. And then me, you know, later on turn a Crip hood that bangs the 4 and then run into him, you know. And then the homie, when I went to him with the whole Blue Tang thing, he had the Wu-Tang symbol already tattooed on him. He's like, what, cuz? I was waiting for this all my life. So us both being from 40s, it was a no-brainer. 40th chamber, man. This shit was like wrote itself, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, here we go.
It's real.
Since we're on the topic of racism.
Wait. This is
Is that not
okay.
it?
No, but it's cool though. We'll get to that one next. This is New World Order with me and Man Kepra.
Okay.
Yeah, this is way better.
The fact that you think that aliens built the pyramids, the only reason why you think that is because you're racist. Really, that's the only reason.
Hey, yo. Killah Priest. Priesthood. Man Kepra Allah.
Top brand.
Royal Priesthood. The guys is back. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Alright. Hey, yo. Hey, look, it was Imhotep, the name of the architect responsible for the blueprints of the steps to heaven gates in Egypt. Yeah, they call them pyramids, but they was more like airports. For the guys to get in charge before they head back to the stars. We spent time on Mars, no cap, you can Google it. NASA got the pictures online. This ain't no movie shit. Lost civilizations like Atlantis under the water. This information's hidden by the New World Order. This information's hidden by the New World Order. This information's hidden by the New World Order, yo.
The Crip Jesus, the New World Order. Tell them call Sergeant Slaughter, cause they gon' need a bodyguard after all this garbage. You know who manifested existence, plus the pyramids. You silly kid, look at all the work we did. Civilization starts with darkness, then out comes the light. Manifested to particles of solid matter. Whoever said that black matter matters need to face the rapture. It's time to seize and capture new degrees of fraction. Time stops, and then your mind is split into an atom capsule.
Whoa. Yo. I see cyborg babies born without umbilical cords. AI vocal cords. We don't even talk no more. The rich versus the poor. The final holy war. Book of Revelations. Caesar Satan versus the Moors. Microchip thought processes. Stretch minds. DeFi physics. You can see a whole year in a minute. And these new drugs turn niggas' brains in the water. This information is hidden by the new world order. This information is hidden by the new world order. This information is hidden by the new world order.
Master Farad Muhammad pointed out to him a dreadful looking plane in the sky, a half a mile by a half a mile. Built like the universe itself. It's circular and it holds within it 1,500 little wheel-like planes. Since 1930, they have known that this plane exists. But why won't they tell the American people? It is because the white man does not want to admit that there is a technology in the world and a power in the world.
Yo.
That's not us. Audio just cut out. Yeah, audio cut out right there.
And a power in the world.
No,
Yeah.
that's right. You didn't hear it? You didn't just hear it?
Yeah, the file just stopped right there with the audio.
It's hating. We'll get the album, y'all. That's a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got hacked. Yeah, we got hacked. The government said y'all doing too much. Y'all too hot up in there, man.
Oh, damn, it happens.
Information's hidden. You know, they said Farrakhan. Oh, no. Y'all know he, man. Come on, y'all.
Yo, man.
Okay.
Nah, y'all killed that though, man. Y'all destroyed that.
Hell yeah, man.
Where to? Yeah, man.
Good looking.
Okay, so we got another one. Says video-MOV.
Yeah, the other email. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is 40th Chamber. My bad, y'all. I gave y'all that long speech. That was me and Man Kevlar.
Those men?
No, we still got God Finale. Here we go.
Brother, let me go first. Those men, they need to see that we're not scared of them. Maybe when they see we're not afraid, they may even back off. My swords!
And it was written that the king would come for those who they thought a king was not. Who shot your holes through your heart chakra and the pineal gland, your medulla oblongata? I'm like palm trees on Crenshaw, my roots is ghetto. Got carbon 15s that can shoot through metal. The king home, sit me in my throne, gather around. But to blow this bitch up, bro, I'm counting it down. So take 10 rappers, hit them with 9s with 8 shots each. That's 7 of them laid 6 feet deep. Let's go. You got it for 5, I got it for 4, and I got 3 left. So if you cop 2, you can get 1 more. Let's go. I'm so good with mathematics, gotta leave them asthmatic. Yeah, these rappers is ass backwards. Coward ass rappers, they should not try me. When I wanna die like Muhammad Ali. Looking for me, I be with Mujahid Allah. That's his real name, it's on his ID. That's the way it sound when we smoke a whole pound and laugh at you fake rapping ass, capping ass, no bars, Jenny bars inside the backpack ass rappers. Yeah. Look, that's the way it sound when we smoke a whole pound and laugh at you fake rapping ass, capping ass, no bars, Jenny bars inside the backpack ass rappers.
Knowledge, cipher, culture, knowledge, boom, God, we living in all times. My mind's my 9, my pen's my Mac 10, my target. You capping ass 9, rapping ass fuck, nigga. Soon as I hear your bars, I'm like, fuck. Niggas really running around this bitch exposed with they skirts up. You spit a verse and I'm feeling like it's the worst shit I ever heard. I just giggle and smoke my herb, let it burn past the 3rd degree. Bitch, I'm God in the flesh. I never bless you with the word for free. Nigga, the game is secrets to be sold is what they told me. So I'ma put a rapper to the test like he was Obi-Wan Kenobi. We can build and destroy, boy, it's all on you. But I'ma still figure 8 in front of the gates and elevate. Paint a picture with words, look how I illustrate. And they can imitate, but it's proven once I demonstrate.
When you learn Kung Fu? At Shaolin.
Yeah, that was dope. That gave that old Wu-Tang feel, especially with the Kung Fu movies. Blue Tang, yeah.
The Blue Tang.
I like that. I like that you're keeping the Kung Fu in there.
Yes, yeah, you got to keep the Kung Fu. Can't take the Kung Fu out. Nah,
Yeah.
can't take that. Because really, that's kind of what brings it all together. Because, you know, there's not really much culture in America that combines militancy or violence with intelligence or discipline.
Eastern philosophies.
So that balance.
Both Crip Jesus and Mitch are Sagittarius. There's a fun astro fact.
Hey, I heard you. Yes.
All right.
Fellow Sag.
2 Geminis.
Yeah, that's 2. We had 2 Geminis and then we had 2 Sages, and they're both. That's right. They're both polar opposites of each other too.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Okay, time for the God finale. Y'all already know.
I see.
Let me set this up. This is none other than Ka Zodiac. The artist name he put is Ka Zigzag Zodiac Killah.
Hey.
And the song title is Third Godly Elixir, Legend of Ka Zodiac. All right. You coming back in? Okay, cool. Come on in right now. I'm gonna do it like this. Then I'm gonna set it up for the screen right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll bring Solo into it too.
Girl.
Just give me a second. Give me a second. Here we go. All right, we're gonna start it.
Once upon a rhyme, many moons ago after the departure of the first 2, I took on a very peculiar student. His name was Ka Zodiac, and he studied electric eel style.
Electric
This is his story, the legend of Ka Zodiac, third godly elixir.
Hey yo, peep this summary with swords drawn like pains take their weapons nailed. Suddenly they water formed, they couldn't get their necks to heal. Gotta play the cards you're given, you won't get a better deal. Studying the water forms, training with electric eels. The master summoned me, I wore the form of the next Brill. Resurrected just to tell the people what this death revealed. Scuba good and super feeding fish to the 7 seals. Pretty maidens, mermaids watch, told me
connect and feel, be one with the current.
And I was thinking about was breath to steal. Tasted the forbidden fruit underneath the sex appeal. Battling reflections in my thoughts that were never real. The master said,
You're God in the flesh. You think that death is real.
As a child, merry-go-round upon the heavens wheel, I saw the Aquarius sign, formed by skipping rocks, cutting Capricorns, by the serpents, by the rivers watch. Fell in love with Kung Fu styles inside the picture box. As the time clock dials Tommy, while I'm giving shocks, chakra Zulu. Water bend my arms like a pasta noodle. First they will never see the harm, like a hostile poodle. Drawing loud weapons, that's the Glockadoodle. Got him cool, chocolate taekwondo, get smoke, that's a cocoa puff. My mind starts to open up. Ninjas hopping out of it, shadow box with my own doubts, my mind's clouded with. When they saw the lightning bolts, they knew they were screwed. Nailed them to the crossfire, superhuman, cause I ooze. Amazing for my pores. Faces of the Moor say I'd never seen moves that's as dangerous as yours. Plenty years training in the pool that was formed from electric tears raining. Brain hemispheres changing, cranes come to the lake first. Stumbling strange turf before the alien said,
You have to study the snake first.
I watched him kill a toad, suffocated his brain worse. Like Vishnu, his skin turned blue in the face smirk. Shooting neurotoxins made the blood in his veins burst. First time it scared me, caused the thunder to shake earth. Lightning in my nervous system struck me, it ain't hurt. I'm bathed in the power. Capricorn Luna, I was raised to the tower till a lightning bolt struck it. I can taste the nostalgia. Voices in my head every day getting louder. Switched my brain into alpha, meditated underwater as I sway like a flower. My dreaming, sitting inside a light tetrahedron, bright like a beacon every night in the evening. I watch the heavens circle to the sight for the seasons. Deep spells only few ones knew. Tree of life leaves fell by the new ones grew. I
cast mic checks, 1, 2, 1, 2. I make swords out of words, it's the new kung fu. Deep wells is the new sun too. Trigger like leaves fell while the new ones grew. Electric Elohim style, y'all don't do kung fu. Kind of predict the third godly elixir. The master summoned me and spoke in the rhyme.
There were more students before you. Listen, open your mind. There was the centipede, snake, the lizard, and the toad, the scorpion, the poison clan, but most of them went rogue.
Hypnotized by a dark owl that floats in the robe. His black smoke followed when his eyes opened, they glowed. His stare froze time, it all turned cold as it slowed. Pretended to deceive you. He thought it was a shore like it ended in the sea view that I mentioned in the preview.
It's him, his twin, I befriended, as a sea fool.
All was so dark it prevented him to see through. Circle in my eyes, swung a pendulum to ease you.
And whispered in my ears things I never would agree to.
Train the 5 venoms who's the deadliest between you.
They stole and they pillaged, caused trouble for the righteous.
Gold from the villages, suffered in the crisis. They built a reputation speaking trouble on devices.
Murder gang, thieving, people struggle over vices. So I teach you Tang Zu to teach your muscles how to fight this.
To resurrect the dead, grab the shovel for the lifeless. Lucky swore to the thought body minister. I made an antidote.
The 4 godly elixirs.
Cleaning up the messages, stole all the literature. Tyranny went everywhere, they roamed like Caligula. I found how to cure them in a cavern that was formed from a fallen giant.
Like
It was found in the sternum, and amazed geniuses who walked around couldn't learn them.
In a fountain that revealed the powers of any person. Their zodiac spirit animal behind the curtain.
Before rivers connected underground to obscure them, they went down to secure them, or was drowned to procure them. Traps placed hidden all around won't deter them. 1,000 angels' voices in the sound and the serum. Trained in the twister with my brains on the scripture. Laser point fixture got him aiming for the trickster. My eyeballs curved to see the frame of the picture.
He gained his eel powers once he drank the elixir.
You need 3 others that could save the calligrapher. Underground sunken in the alchemist dungeon. Claim the whole story would end without his signature. They all wear the mask, the secret is in the stare. The eyes never lie, you can see it in the glare. Connect the 4 corners like the seasons in the square.
You'll need the gold panther, the phoenix, and the bear.
Oh my, ghost spies of the cuts will be rare. The first get so much attention, people stuck as they stare. And his raw head in the raw thoughts erupting the flare. The second gain the altitude till it up in the air. She could hear with just a touch, or your muscles prepared. While the bear was so strong, he crushed the despair. Build cities out of words, that's constructive repair. While your shots won't kill, they can make them up more aware. Now everyone's competing for the throne when it's just a chair. Bones of the undeclared and heads where it gets deep. Or walking toward the mountaintop and heads where it gets steep.
The alchemist looked just like his twin, different color. So he shapeshifted to appear like his brother. Made his feathers turn white, it took me years to discover.
The UFO circle, you can hear the discs hover. Figured it out, it was only a hunch. Making portals with his fist, it was only a punch. Chilling with the loneliest bunch of the loneliest monks. He was sitting meditating on the team he created. Inception at his best, every dream seems related. Mastering the weaponry, magic is a specialty. Your time it developed into actual telepathy. Planets for recovering the tablets of their destiny. Golden discs holding every classic from the golden era. Then the program directors change it to a coding era. Stepping through the coral, electrical to snorkel. Then back to the present, all connected by the portal. To fight the alchemists, the exceptional immortals.
Wow.
Great Goddard, the great Kyle Zodiac. He said Rome of the Caligula.
And there they stood, at the edge of the portal, standing as one ready to embark upon another mysterious and incredible journey. But before we open that chapter, there is one more elixir. We must drink before we are ready to face the alchemist. For after training number 3, there was one more godly elixir with a story like no other. But that, my friends, is a priesthood tale for yet another day.
Wow.
Yeah, the rhyme is in. I don't know.
We were
It's
just
immaculate.
talking about elixirs. We were just
He's
talking
in
about
tune.
Saint Germain elixirs.
He's in tune.
But
Yeah.
he submitted that before we talked about it. Like,
Melchizedek Zodiac.
the synchronicity is incredible.
Yeah.
We were just talking about elixirs. That's crazy. Go ahead, Priest. What you think?
It's incredible. Lyrics, otherworldly. Video. Come on, man. He had lines in there. It's magnificent. That's all I gotta say. It's magnificent. That's Kyle Zodiac at his best, you know what I'm saying? Just having fun and just complex skill lyrics, just on top of each other. But enough space for you to breathe. That's it.
Yeah.
It's dope.
So, what you think?
Man, I'm speechless. Like, I can't even say nothing right now. So, I mean, the video is like fire. I can't even like elaborate right now. Let me catch up. I'm already like, I'm behind right now. Like, I'm still trying to like catch up right now to the video. But no, it was fire though. It was fire.
Incredible. What do you think, CJ?
Yeah, Kai Zodiac strikes again, bro. I think he's the only person on this earth that can keep up with KP.
For real.
I don't know nobody else.
That's what it takes too.
Yeah, exactly.
Mitch, what you think?
It opened up a window in my mind, and it's probably primed by something Crip Jesus said earlier, which is the centrality of Kung Fu and how Kung Fu combines violence with intelligence. And finally, I get it. It's like that kind of exploded something.
Yeah.
They opened a window for me.
Isn't it interesting?
Amazing.
He's also kind of using magic in his videos. Because you speak a lot about magic, and we know the power of the audio with magic, but the visuals, he's using. Because first of all, his videos are getting better and better and better and better. Like that is so for me, that's the highest level I've seen of AI, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But
subject matter though, lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics and also the visual effect. We're seeing two things happening at once. It's like getting double magic at it because we feel a little bit in a trance when we watch his videos, and he's kind of doing some storytelling with it, and it's mesmerizing, to say the least, and almost hypnotizing. So I can almost feel how it's almost magical, just watching some of these things. Because he puts a lot of like esoteric knowledge in there. You see the owl. You see he has a lot of symbolism. The guy's very knowledgeable, so he's incorporating all of that. And who knows how many Easter eggs are there? We could do a whole episode, but. Would you not say that a music video like that would be considered magic?
Oh, that's magic for sure.
Magic. Yeah. I think, someone once said, he asked embarrassed, like, can film or video be sacred scripture? And the answer is, of course, yes, if it puts you in touch with truth.
Yeah. We were talking about that, too, with Priest. He left his lyrics on the table once, and a friend of ours, Black Moses, said, Priest, don't forget your scriptures.
Yeah.
And I remember I was really high at the time, but I was like, yo, that's real. Like, those are your scriptures, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it can be considered that. So, that's interesting, because what we consider as a form of art and appreciation art goes so deep, you know what I mean? And I don't know the quotes from Pythagoras on it and everything. I want to look it up. I want to see the ancient philosophers and what they speak on about,
Philosopher's Stone.
We know about the music and everything, but nowadays we're living in a time where art and music are blending all into video, and it's just become this amazing presentation. Man, shout out to Kai Zodiac. That was amazing.
Amazing.
And that's how we do it. Now, we did get a last-minute submission, Priest, from Aurora Borealis, but I know you have to go. What should we do?
I gotta get out of here. You can play it, whatever, but we gotta go. So
Okay.
I want to say peace to y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I gotta get out of here. Yo, Crip Jesus album out tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, my
Mitch
bad. I'm
Horowitz.
on mute again. Yeah. Blue Tank.
Yeah.
7-11 in the morning. That thing dropped, man.
I want to thank you for this book.
Horowitz.
Yeah, Horowitz. I want to thank you. I'm from New York. Oh, well, he's from New York, too. Horowitz. Yo, it's amazing. I couldn't wait for you and Hakeim Supreme to get on there. It was dope. Everything that you're doing, brother, is definitely needed for now. And I can't wait for you to come back. And thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shout out to the Podcraft. Shout out to everybody in there. I'll still be watching on my way. I gotta get to the studio too. Hello. All right, Aurora.
All right.
That's right. We're gonna do.
Just take me out.
One more song promotion over here.
All right, peace, y'all.
We still here.
Much love, one love.
There you are. Bam, like that. Abracadabra, y'all disappeared. Oh yeah, this thing. Trey, should hold on to it.
Nah.
Yeah, you need it. Then send it to me on WhatsApp.
I can't. You gotta download it.
Okay. So, because we got this going on. Or tell you what, I'll start the song and then we'll download this. How's that? Okay. Let's go. Aurora Borealis has a submission here we're gonna do. It's called "The Holy City of New York," featuring Razul, Sword of David vocal only, produced by Aurora Borealis. And then we're gonna do some super chats later too. We didn't forget y'all super chats. We just had a lot going on.
To all MCs, my sword is like Excalibur. To all challengers, I put you on the calendar for the execution date with your head on a gold plate. Close the drapes, you cannot escape. I tie weights to your ankles and watch you sink to the bottom of the fiery lakes. Stranded on the planet of the apes, dressed in the Batman cape, smoking a chalice with Aurora Borealis in the palace. I speak malice, I accept the challenge. For all those who become friends and foes, I let the calico blow. 7 shots to your cranium, the bullets vibrate vibranium. I baptized him with fire. I'm your murdered MC for hire. Now call me sire, or call me Rasulullah 7, the Messiah, or Belladonna. From the John Wick flick, I hold more clips, hit you in your hips. Aurora Borealis, Rasulullah 7, the lost children of Babylon, and beyond, with the main man, Aurora Borealis, King Blazer.
777 kings in your face. We come from a place, heaven reigns, a place where angels sing, and as we walk to the star north of us, see Aurora Borealis, analysts from the mainstream fitter on the semi-sweet rod beats that creep. You went a deep state paralysis, made it possible with the blades. King David blazed the unchoppable, the blade sharp. We have to keep moving like sharks, waiting for a challenge, never provoke. But we'll smoke and dismantle the scandalous. Once you try to step, you feel the talons, it's too late. Hey, Rue came through, blew in with his cape. And like Nate, dog, have to regulate some chosen ones. God's messengers hate none. Listen to Isaiah, refuting the truth. We wait in patience for God to water the seeds while we do these deeds and rebuke Satan. We the few. Hey, Rue, Rasulullah 7, the golden falcon. Aurora Borealis came through with the light we shed on the path.
Hip-hop disciple, the devil is my rival. Clutching the Bible, lean like the Eiffel Tower of Pisa, not the people of Pisa. I appease God.
All right, so that's a first. We never got a acapella submission before. Normally we like to have a whole beat with the vocals and the beat together. We've gotten beat submissions, but never just vocal stems. But I guess you wanted to promote that, so I hope that worked out for you. But you know, for me, I like to hear the vocals with the beat. You know, call me crazy. But hey. That's what's up with that. All right, peace. You guys are out. All right, later solo. Now we're gonna do the super chats. Hold on, let me close this now. All right, super chats. Make sure you close the door. Okay. Got everything. Let's see. Godfather 3000 says Priest should make a track with R.J. Payne. I agree. Godfather 3000 says, here in Florida, we use the native Indian teachings. Ceaseless One says, Hakeim Supreme. Shout out to Brown Buffalo Salinas. Ceaseless One. Lyrical Leviathan says, shout out to the Podcraft, much respect. All right, that's it for Super Chats. Shout out to Mitch Horowitz for holding it down. I put a link to your books on Amazon in the description. Any other links that I should add?
I got a podcast I'm doing called Extraordinary Evidence. ESP is real. It's already on Spotify, but they're showing up now every Friday on YouTube. Extraordinary Evidence, and I'm proud of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
The
get
music
that.
is by Dean Hurley, who was the sound designer for David Lynch, and Dean did the music for Twin Peaks: The Return. So that was a real honor working with him.
Nice. All right, that's what's up. And then how can I get the link to that?
Oh, I guess if you go to YouTube and put in Extraordinary Evidence, you'll see it. It's called Extraordinary Evidence. ESP is real. And we got the first 2 episodes up there. Number 3 is going to appear tomorrow.
Okay. ESP is real. Episode 1, Moonrise.
That's it.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, Dean's music.
Awesome. That looks good. I'm going to check that out after the show. I'm going to put the link to that in the description for everybody here. All right. Man, what a show that was today, huh? Podcast. Here we go. Bam, that's up there. So y'all guys check that out. Links in the description. Any last words?
Grateful for this exchange. Meant a lot. Lifted me up.
Nice. Yeah, I always enjoy it. I want to find out more. I'm going to look on ChatGPT and see what else Saint Germain was eating and doing.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean?
To do a health exploration. I think that'd be good.
I mean, not only that, it's just interesting to see how the elite always look for, what's the word of living for? Immortality.
Yeah.
The elite are always looking for immortality without going into the adrenochrome thing.
Right.
Because we've heard about that with Hollywood and how they were able to stay so young. So that's just too creepy for me. But I'm trying to see just like, more on the Dr. Sebi side with the herbs and, certain herbs do this, certain herbs do that. Keep the protein at a certain level, keep your carbohydrates up with fruits and the right types of veggies and stuff like that. I think that's really interesting. So I'm just looking into it.
Yeah. It improves the mood too, it seems to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Without going fully into monk mode.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm still having minimal meat for now, and I feel good. It's all grass fed and everything.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from like the fatty chicken and stuff like that because you don't know what they're feeding them. You know what I'm saying? But
Soylent Green.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's just research, but it's something I find interesting and stuff like that. So I'm definitely on it with the sea moss minerals.
Oh, that's good. You liking that? Are you the sea moss?
Yeah, I have it in a blended thing that comes in. Like it has sea moss and pau d'arco. Are you familiar with pau d'arco?
No.
It's a controversial plant, but it's from the sea. And they use sea vegetables because it's the same pH balance as our blood. So our blood is very at the same pH level as seawater.
I see.
You know what I mean? The same type of like salt. You know what I mean? So it's amazing that our pH level, potential hydrogen. So that's why we respond better to sea vegetables than the land vegetables. Anyway, so I take this drink and it has sea moss in it. Yeah. But I take a shot every morning, and knock on wood, I haven't been sick in a long time.
And how does it come? Where do you it has to be refrigerated, I guess.
It has to be refrigerated. Yeah, it's called sea aloe. And they use sound waves to compress all of the nutrients into this liquid.
Wow. And
it's an alternative to taking multivitamins because when you take vitamins, you don't absorb all of that.
Yeah.
You're only absorbing like 20% at most of multivitamin. But if you take your vitamins in liquid form, it gets absorbed a lot quicker into your system. You're supposed to swish it around your mouth and stuff like that. But it has sea moss in it. Every single vitamin, every single mineral and stuff. I'll put a link in the description.
I will check that out. Yeah. I've been seeing it around.
Yeah, and it has colloidal silver. You familiar with silver?
Yeah.
there's certain minerals that are just supposed to be really good for you, but colloidal silver. There's also, it doesn't have anatomic gold, but I heard there's benefits to gold, and that's what brings us right back to the discussion of the elixir that Saint Germain used. I'm not sure if he was going for immortality, but I guess he faked his death a few times.
That's understood that like there's a line of teaching that he faked his death, and that the person who presented later as his son was actually the man himself.
Interesting. And I wonder who else in our world has faked their death on purpose.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting question. Who has faked it and gotten away with it?
Yeah.
I guess they're still searching for that, what's his name? D.B. Cooper, the hijacker, who in a way faked his death, I suppose.
Is that the guy who stole money from the plane and jumped out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They did a spoof on that with Loki. If you ever watched the Loki series.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. They made it look like... You're familiar with Marvel, right?
Yeah, of course. I grew up on Marvel.
Okay, so you've seen also the Multiverse of Madness?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so there's a variant of Loki to where he is that guy.
Okay.
And he jumps off the plane, and then Thor swoops him up and everything. It's kind of funny.
I grew up on Marvel, and I started reading DC when I was maybe about 14 or so, and people were pissed at me. They thought I was committing a traitorous act.
Yeah.
But then eventually everybody started reading both Marvel and DC, but there was a wall. In my world.
But I mean, that's what you do. You read multiple books. You've studied many religions. You've studied many, and you have to see all the perspectives to go to the ones that you want. There's a guy on YouTube that bought the Satanic Bible, and he's a Christian.
Yeah.
And everyone slammed him in the comment section. What are you doing? You should sage the whole house. You should say a prayer before you even open the Satanic Bible. But then he started reading it, and I'm like, hey, he's like, this starts. A lot of the stuff in there makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of common sense stuff.
I love when people sort of go off campus. I love it. There's nothing. I was going to say during one of the earlier videos, when I was a kid, I wasn't that much of a kid. I was like 26. I went to the Million Man March. I went by myself. It was one of the most positive days of my life. And I really just want the search to exist. I just want the search to exist. Yeah.
That's good. Now, you saw the Multiverse of Madness, and you've seen how Scarlet Witch, she's doing a lot of stuff with her hands and everything, and it's a lot of ritualistic type of things, and Doctor Strange is doing a lot of stuff like that, and I kind of wonder how much that correlates with actual magic practices where they use their hands. I don't know if it's in Taoism or stuff like that, but the mannerisms. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, you find it in Taoism. You find it really, you'll even find it in Buddhism with the, yoga mudras,
the mudras. Yeah.
Of course, you'll find it among the Hebraic priests, sort of making, the symbol of Shin and so forth. And you have those hand mudras in a lot of traditions.
And the Freemasons would have all their fingertips touching with that mudra right there, just like that.
Yeah.
Now, that's scientifically just connecting the left brain and the right brain, isn't it?
Well, I think that's a really good question. I think everything that we do physically, it's funny, there's a beautiful writer, Yukio Mishima, and he said, if spirit can affect flesh, it stands to reason that flesh can affect spirit. So that would have to be a yes.
That's why I think it's inevitable I have to get into this yoga stuff, because stretching is important. I went to the gym on Sunday and I did the rowing machine a little too hard, and then I had this pain in my back. I'm like, yo, why did I go so hard on that rowing machine? But I didn't even stretch.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I got to do some stretching. You know what I mean?
I overdo it. I've been working out every day, and it's very good. It's good physically and it's good for my mood. But I typically get to a point where I start overdoing it, and I got to watch out for that. I mean, injury is not like, your friend, other You love it.
But it always comes down to just not stretching enough
Yeah.
and things like that. I don't know if you take creatine, but
My younger son Toby does. I used to take it. I wasn't sure about the benefits, but I think he believes it's legit.
yeah, I went on it and then off it, on it and off it, and now I get it. And I take half the dose. Yeah, I do 3 grams.
And what are the benefits that you notice?
You are able to endure a lot more of anything. And so I'm someone that has to stay up late because of I DJ late. And people are like, "Why aren't you tired?" I'm like, "I'm not tired. I had my 8 hours of sleep, but I know that the creatine kind of just keeps me going. And I'll do push-ups every now and then. And when I'm off, I can do like 20 push-ups. But when I'm on the creatine, I can get up to 35 or 40, and it's noticeable. I'm like, wow, like, how did I go from 20 to 35 on push-ups? And all I did was add creatine after a week of dosage. You know what I mean? But it really helps your endurance.
What do you take daily?
I mean, just 3 grams.
3 grams as a powder, and that's it.
That's a bit. That's just half a teaspoon. I also take vitamin D3, K2, and then the big game changer for me to help with sleep is magnesium glycinate.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know about that. Oh my god, I'm taking half the dose, like half a milliliter of that before bed, like every other day. I knock right out. I sleep so well. Full on dreams, sometimes out of body experiences. It just knocks the body out because most people are deficient in magnesium.
Yeah, so I've learned. And so how much of that do you take?
Half a milliliter every other day.
Every other day.
And I low dose coffee. Like I have a 3-ounce glass. It's not much coffee. Yeah. But a little bit of like 3 ounces of just regular coffee, nothing crazy. It's not an espresso or anything. But even that low dose of coffee, it hits me kind of hard to a point where it's a diuretic. So you lose electrolytes. When you lose water, you're losing minerals.
Right.
And it became a point to you don't realize that you're losing minerals until something bad happens, or you have a cramp and you're not sleeping right, and then that happened in December for me. And then I talk to Chat GPT all the time, and it's like, yeah, you're probably low on magnesium and potassium and all that stuff. Anyway, fixed all that, and now it's like when you sleep right, your whole life is right.
Yeah, I dig. Do you consume alcohol?
So I used to. I used to at the club, vodka and tequila, and the body would build up a tolerance to that. So I was drinking like every other week. And then on my birthday, Priest got me wasted, which I didn't expect to happen. You know what I mean? But after 3 shots, you kind of lose control.
Yeah.
And you literally feel kind of possessed. And the other me came out and just kept going. I guess I had a good time from what I heard, but I don't really remember what happened.
Wow.
But nowadays, I try to avoid alcohol completely. You know what I mean? And if I do, one of the girls I'm talking to right now, she likes Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Hennessy is light. I mean, it hits you hard, but like I barely have a hangover with that and everything. But that's a social thing. We only have a few shots, and I'm able to control that. I don't feel belligerent compared to like a tequila and stuff like that. But I'm trying to stay away from the alcohol because even the next day or 2 days after, you spiritually don't feel as sharp. It really takes a toll on the body. And when I was younger, I didn't notice as much. I didn't care. As I got older, the details become way more apparent.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because I'm a Pisces, or because my my rising's in Libra, or the sun is in the 6th house, whatever, Virgo North Node. All the details had me just like, you know what? Let's back off of this, get away from this and that, and and I have my specific diet that I follow, but when I go off it, I feel it.
Yeah, I dig. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I try to keep the alcohol little to none.
I dig. Well.
Yeah, and I'm barely smoking weed now because the weed thing was a big thing for me.
It's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
It's me because I'm writing all day long and I get a lot of fatigue, and it's not always easy for me to come down. And so weed is part of my life.
You do more of a indica?
A big word?
Indica? Do you do indica or sativa?
I used to do indica, and now I do sativa. And because I like the lift.
Yeah.
And I do find that you know, writing all day, I love it, but you get wired, and it is hard to come down.
That's the thing. Yeah. Because I'm already kind of a mellow person, so I was doing sativa hybrids for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed a difference in strains. So Tangy would have me way too cracked out. And then the one that worked the best for me was Paradise. It's like PEAR, Paradise, sativa hybrid. And that brought me to a good level of motivation.
Oh, that's
but
good.
the thing is, once it goes down, your dopamine receptors, they're not firing as well. So you kind of have to maintain. You got to keep going back up.
Not the best. But I have reduced my caloric intake by about 20%.
Oh wow.
And I think that's been a big change in my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you bring down a certain macro or just everything altogether?
I would say everything altogether. I haven't really, I've tried different diets like keto, paleo, and the truth is they're all portion based,
Yeah.
and so it's got to be those portions. And so I finally realized that that feeling of being full, it's not healthy. We're all accustomed to it in this country, but it's not healthy.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuffed.
I really don't. And it used to happen all the time. It's a stress release, and if I need to release stress, I'm better off meditating or exercising or smoking weed.
Yeah. And if you are going to get stuffed, you kind of want to keep it towards dinner time or, not when you're
for real.
When you're working, because, I do meal prep. And if my third meal is too heavy and I go to my desk and I'm trying to work on something and all I want to do is sleep, then I know.
Yeah. It really does slow you down intellectually, physically.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better. Like tonight before coming on the show, I had a falafel wrap I was going to eat, and I ate only half of it. And I feel a lot better, just eating only half of it.
Nice. I was doing research on ChatGPT. I'm always asking it questions. And I was like, what's the macro ratio for a typical Japanese beef and rice bowl? And it would say a full cup of rice, which is like 150 grams. And I was only doing like half of that.
Right.
And only like 3 ounces of meat.
That's amazing.
And I was doing double that.
Yeah.
So I was having like 5 ounces of meat and being low carb and having half and then feeling all stuffed. So I'm like, well, let me follow this Japanese style. Have a full cup of rice, small portion of meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shoot it with some lime and stuff like that. A little bit of sriracha. Mix that up. Man, I ate that. I felt powerful. I felt good. I could focus. I'm like, dude, I should have followed this macronutrient ratio a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you follow the bodybuilders, they're talking all this high protein stuff, and it's not good for the mind. It's just way too much protein.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that feeling of being sleepy and mentally slow after a meal, that started to catch up with me. And I said, this has got to change.
Yeah.
I can't feel like taking a nap after lunch. That's just not my life.
That's called your postprandial glycemic response.
Yeah.
You're temporarily you have an acute insulin resistance situation happening, which is a temporary thing, but it'll knock you out. And so I got so tired of that, I had to get it down to a science. And now when I go to it's just like mixing music. You know what I mean? I only have so much of the kick, so much of the snare, bring the samples down. But when I'm in the kitchen, it's I feel like a mad scientist. I'm using only so much of this beef stock and only so much of rice and boom, boom, boom. But once you have it down right, you got the system. I don't got to think about it anymore. I know exactly what to make, how to make it, boom, boom, boom. And then now I feel sharp, man. My mind is firing. I'm barely smoking right now. I know exactly how much coffee to take. Only 3 ounces. Some people have a full cup.
Yeah.
And for those at home, a full cup is 8 ounces.
Yeah.
I'm only having 3, and for me, like that's good. By the time I go to sleep, I'll be able to knock out and won't be wired. Because I hate overthinking.
Yeah, I dig. That's my real poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have all these brilliant thoughts, but it's like you're supposed to be asleep.
That is my. One time I gave a talk somewhere at like I guess it was an old folks home for rich people, and this lady came up to me afterwards and she said, "How do you sleep at night?" And I thought she was accusing me of something. And I was like, She was like, your mind, it's always going. And I said, yeah,
Mm.
poison. Yeah, it's very hard to stop.
Well, you're also a Sagittarius, so you've got that fire in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like Crypt Jesus is always going, always moving.
That's the fire of Sag.
So I get it. You know, you guys, that's what keeps that entrepreneurial spirit that you guys have.
I'm a lunatic, you know. It's like, I mean, I'm either starting a new book or finishing an old book, or whatever, along with this, that, and the other thing, and you know, trying to keep it together.
But I assume you're using the practicing. I mean, you're practicing what you've learned about magic, because there's a lot of like self-healing stuff, self-therapy, and the one that I like the most is not acronyms. The what do you call it when you affirmations?
Oh yeah, I constantly, especially just before going to sleep at night and just waking in the morning. When you're in that in-between state, your mind is very suggestible. And experiments have found that's prime time for ESP as well. But affirmations are a big part of my practice. Yeah.
I imagine they would. So I follow this billionaire. His name is Dan Pena.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big billionaire. He's loud. He's obnoxious. He's mean. But he teaches about tough business and being a tough person. And he talks a lot of trash about, meditators and people, and like, oh, you guys are under that woo-woo stuff, and you're doing meditation isn't going to pay the bills. And so he talks trash on all that, but he does affirmations.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So he's downplaying what helps the subconscious mind, not realizing he's already doing a practice that helps the subconscious mind. So
right.
But the guy's a billionaire, almost a trillionaire at this. But he calls himself the $1 trillion man. But who knows? But his name's Dan Pena, huge, popular billionaire online. But it's interesting to see that he talks about that with the affirmations. We have to watch what we speak and watch what we think.
It's true. I mean, we forget. I think most people, who watch the Podcraft would say, yes, I believe thoughts are extra physical, but it's like we have to live that way too. And that puts you in front of something, because those thoughts do matter.
Well, all the magic you speak on, with the chaos magic, the sigil magic especially.
Yeah.
Is that not just triggering the subconscious?
Yeah, I agree that is. Yeah. I mean, the whole difficulty, at least like the person who originated sigil magic, Austin Osman Spare, he was a British artist, and he said, the chief challenge is bypassing that rational mind. We need the rational mind, but it also gets in our way. And what can you do to forge that path to the subconscious? Because he felt that's where the magic occurs. That's the mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Do you know where I learned sigil magic from?
Where?
Grant Morrison.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, he's taught a lot of people. I mean, he's very influential in this. And I think I've learned from him. He keeps it very simple. And I like his explanation because it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm definitely obviously always on YouTube, always researching things. But when I ran across Grant Morrison talking about it, it made so much sense. And for me, I'm always trying to simplify things. Well, that's just triggering the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the sex magic, and the power of the climax, I understand that when you have that explosion, you're technically sending a shockwave all the way up your spinal cord.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's Kundalini, in a certain sense. And then, it's a very unique state because you're self-aware, but you're not using the rational mind. And that's why Randolph felt, and among others, you drop that wish into the psyche at that moment, and that can be extra physical, powerful.
Yeah. Well, because you're using the energy that is used to create life.
That's it.
Right.
I think that's the secret. We think of creating life strictly as procreation, and of course that's part of it, but we're doing it all the time. Anytime we're generative, anytime you're working on a song, that life, that's that impulse of creation seeking itself, seeking expression. It's life seeking to replicate itself, and we think of it so narrowly, but it's constant.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the Kundalini also is kind of sparking up all of the chakras.
I think that's right.
So to speak.
And it's also probably cleansing us, like Wilhelm Reich felt it was cleansing us of body trauma, things like that. And I have to believe that's true.
Yeah, and it seems to be working both ways because you've got the release, which can send a shockwave, and if you use your intention, you can manifest things. And I guess that's happening through subconsciously, but they also speak how you're sending out waves out into the universe.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of like an external.
I think we have a material life, we have an extra physical life, and I think the medium between that material and extra physical life is what we call the psyche. We don't really know what it is, but I think of it as like a compact of thought and emotion. And I would say with total confidence, it has an extra physical element. And I think that extra physical element becomes more available to us at those moments of dreamlike states or sexual states where, again, we're conscious, but we're bypassing rationality.
Mm. Yeah, because I always assumed that all these affirmations, and when you speak something into existence, and you're speaking about what you want using the law of attraction, that it's only happening inside your bubble. It's only happening within your subconscious, and it's only happening within you and your inside world, your brain, and all of that power and magic is happening within. But when I hear about what you talk about and other people, it's making it sound it's not that is happening, but it's also shooting out energy as far as we can imagine.
Yeah.
And sending a ripple effect out into the world, which that's a part that blows my mind more.
Yeah.
Is that we have the ability to send out energy, which is why sometimes somebody will call us and we were just thinking about them. Like, I was just thinking about you. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's trippy.
And there's, this is true in terms of the mystical traditions. This is true in terms of the increased understanding we have from science today. There are fields, neuroplasticity, that demonstrate exactly what you just said, that a thought, whatever that is, a thought changes the pathways through which electrical signals or neural signals travel in the brain. It's mind over matter. It's mind over matter. And it's as real as it gets.
Hey, I appreciate you doing this after hours, brother.
My pleasure, man.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but real quick, so we talked about the external, when you have the explosion going out. Now, there's also the ancient practice of holding it in.
Yes, right.
The semen retention situation. So, and then about that with the Kundalini, how you wait, I guess, 28 days. Yeah. And then the story of Santa Claus and the chimney goes into the the Santa Claustrum in the brain where you get all the presents.
Yeah, right. That has not been my practice. I respect it and I honor it. It has not been my path. My path is one of what is sometimes called sex transmutation, where when you feel the sexual urge, just at a time and place of your own choosing, you elect through a shift in mental attention, mental energy, to redirect that sexual desire towards the completion of some cherished task. It can be a creative task, it can be scholarly, it can be athletic, it can be anything. And you will find greater power, energy, intellect, stamina, enthusiasm at the back of your efforts. It doesn't mean abstaining from sex. It's just something you elect to do when you want to. It's a very open path, and it's very powerful.
Yeah, the research I've done as far as boosting testosterone says that it only lasts about a week, and then it starts to level out. You get a plateau happening after, but you get the benefits after a week. Which okay, one more thing before I let you go. I think somebody had mentioned, reminded me of it. Oh, we have a full moon right now.
Yeah.
A full moon in Cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me what you believe would be a good thing to do as far as affirmations, or what can people at home do to take advantage of this full moon energy right now?
The full moon brings an emotional pitch, and Cancer is associated with the home, your domestic setting. So there could be an encounter of some very heavy emotions at home, not necessarily a bad thing, but it could also be a time to kind of come to a reckoning with that. Sometimes I feel that I'm too ready to give expression to emotions just because they're there. Like I don't need to do that, so that's like an intention I'm holding for this full moon.
Okay. Cool. So people can just basically set their intentions today.
Yeah. And I think it can be powerful if those intentions might deal with emotions and the household. Yeah.
And then you probably also know the power of actually writing something down. Like once we put things to paper.
I believe it very deeply. Because something is there that wasn't there before, and however small and nascent it is a tactile reality that wasn't present before. And so this starts to get into the area of chaos theory, chaos magic. You change one particle and everything changes. It is true. It is true. And so I always encourage people never to neglect that step. And that tactile thing, a wish written down, an affirmation written down, it's a reality, and it starts emotion.
It's almost like an elementary level step into sigil magic.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
So if you guys have goals at home and you want to set your intention today, and your goal is to, I don't know, to get a new car, I don't know, like to whatever you want to manifest, basically. Know it and then write it down on a piece of paper. Just write it down. You don't have to do anything crazy with it if you don't want to. You can look up sigil magic to like go more advanced, but if you just want to start off on the basic end, just write down what your goal and intention is today, or in the next 24 hours, really, because the full moon energy kind of lasts for a few days. It isn't exactly right now, but I working in the club scene, I gotta tell you, it's so apparent when there's a new moon and when there's a full moon.
Is that right?
That's what got me into astrology in the first place.
That's
because
amazing.
I was DJing clubs when I was, 22 years old, and I saw patterns of behavior within the
That's
girls,
amazing.
within the customers. My Pisces intuition was like, I see something.
Mhm.
Like everyone's acting this way today. Why is everyone acting crazy today? Why today everyone is wilding out? You know what I mean? And there just so happens to be a full moon in Scorpio or something. And I'm like, yo, something's going on. And then, one thing led to another. I learned astrology, and now I get it.
So yeah, I mean that's where the root of the word lunatic is lunar, moon. And
Yeah.
so, you know, uh, other people, through history notice this in intense situations. Yeah, the moon makes us a little crazy.
Yeah, it's in the music video Thriller.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Michael Jackson turns into a werewolf.
Right? Full
You know?
moon. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not necessarily going to be literal. You're not literally turn into a werewolf, but
Right.
everything and a lot of folklore and mythology is based on metaphor.
Yeah.
So metaphorically, your inner monster comes out because now you're emotional.
Right.
Your emotions have taken over, and now you're a beast, so to speak.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mitch. Really appreciate you. I feel like we could talk forever and on and on and on about things, especially with the astrology stuff. But great to have you on.
Likewise, warmth to everybody. Thank you for making this possible.
Absolutely. Let's see. What can I end the show with? I'm gonna put on a Killah Priest song here. But yeah, I just gotta cut it because I can feel how the questions are popping up in my head. My Libra rising is like, okay, Adrian, you've done enough. You set it up. Let's close it out. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to balance myself out.
I dig.
We'll do the Walking Life featuring solo gems. All right. Thanks again, Mitch. The link is in the description.
All right.
And I'll also put the link to your Instagram up there too.
Thank you, my man. Okay.
right.
Warmth to all.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
The government tell us we woke, and at the same time sell us the dope that leads to heart failures and strokes. Where do we start? Do we believe what the elders wrote, or the ones who watch through a telescope? The Illuminati Cyclops, beast mark on every coast. The head of a cult, the devil goat that sits in a drum circle like a hippie, dressed like a gypsy. My best of rocking the nebula quotes is like Tesla notes. Now they got surveillance on Diddy. I'm a cross between Umar Johnson and Billy Carson. I told my grandmother that we are from where the stars from. I'm like Ron Hayes, but I'm Todd Wave with a blonde fade. Some days it'll be an orange braid, half shade. That's just his character. I made hair like lemonade. Both his parents come from Africa. Y'all know the prototype, it's the walking life. See, the sun is the source of light. It made my quartz bright as New York at night. They say when Walter Wright, he could steer Hathor to the boat of the moon. Into the cliff, sent to the glyphs to open the tombs. They say killer flows is like pillar porticos that fulfill the scrolls made of silver and gold. The bars I laid is like sculpted on the architrave. I wrote it like an art display of gods and goddesses with darker shades. I wrote it in the chamber, glowing like the child that was golden in the manger. Only 3 kings knew he was growing to be the savior. Okay, back to rap more about Hathor, the cow-headed near the Nile desert. Under the white clouds, the native dancing in the powwow. He wore the head crown of owl feathers. As the clan went from loud records, and Priest and Jizza wrote their signature down on Geffen. And hip-hop's are where I found the presence. The shepherds are coming down from Mount Everest, surrounded by peasants. With unclean skin disease, they called them leopard. I pointed a finger up and moved it around till I found the nebula. I told them I walked through Babylon, Persia, and Mecca. I talked to bees out their nectar, kings out their treasure. I've been counting ever since I've been walking. I started from forever. I've been writing on steelies inside of caverns where it's misty. Dealt tarot cards to the hands of time. Closed my eyes while the mouth of a cave kissed me. I gave the walls history. Y'all enslaved us all misery. That's why I shaved it off and came back bald, a mystery. I wrote it all on big slabs of lapis, lazuli, channel vibes to the candle fire. 12 candlesticks sits on amethyst. I write my scrolls on the clove of a rose. You see them when they unfold, the untold secret me and the queen bee hold. So when they make the pollen bin, I can communicate with the insect world like King Solomon. I mean solar gems, most roll to him.
Then I went rogue on them, those who stole my pen. Then I went ice cold as wind. Geminis we roll as twins. When we take the mic, we're the walking life.
The D's rated houses looking for your favorite out of Brooklyn. Africa praises to the bushmen, to the natives in the woodlands. The raisins in the Juxin, through the mazes of the bullpen. They killed our saviors, re-raised us and made us into hoodlums. Malcolm X became one of the greatest out of the Muslims, except for this boxer who never went to Oxford, never became a doctor, but got the rings of the chakras. Cassius Clay and Hathaway passed away, saw dimensions. George Benson, could this be a masquerade? Preacher said fast and pray. My mother's not there, but I asked her grave. Tiffany's not here, but her ashes stayed. What words will Prince and Michael Jackson say? I was a boy, now the mirror showed me patches of gray. Then it got black, and I started like tapping into a haze. Dazed, the mirror said your hair looked glazed because that's how much passion you gave. This is what happened, you still rapping. The mirror became my healer when it told me I was a pyramid giver, a gold spitter and a soul filler. I came to slay the Antichrist, walking life. Yeah, so I pray.
Now, who were some of your early influences?
Well, the planets, the creator, mythical gods, real ones, people, flowers, everything in nature, inspiration. Musicians get their inspiration really from environmental things, and all musicians are inspiration to me, no matter what style they're playing.